Li Mei's Sword of Destiny. Chapter 1854. Whether it was Qin Feiyang or the inner demons, they both had the strength to fight the demon ancestor alone, let alone the two of them working together. However, although this blow was enough to be fatal, under the recovery of the forbidden technique, the demon ancestor's injuries were healed in an instant. However, his face also seemed to have aged a little. I am immortal. Defense formula. The demon ancestor roared in the sky, his white hair fluttering in the wind. Demonic mist billowed, and a set of black armor appeared on his body. Coupled with the horns on his head and the wings on his back, he looked more like a demon king at this moment. Defense formula, does it mean defense? Qin Feiyang and the inner demons looked at each other, and a set of blood-red armor appeared on their bodies at the same time. As soon as the blood-red armor appeared, the weakness between their eyebrows instantly dissipated. Their battle intent broke through the clouds. The demon ancestor was surprised. Not only did his appearance become old, but even his voice became hoarse. This is the current form of the battle formula. A defensive armor that can even withstand the heavenly tribulation. Qin Feiyang and the inner demons smiled coldly. Their black and blood-red hair fluttered in the wind, as if two gods of war had descended. Battle formula. The demon ancestor muttered and suddenly used the speed formula, escaping into the sky. Want to escape? Qin Feiyang and the inner demons immediately chased after him. But suddenly, the demon ancestor stopped again, turned to face the two, and said in a hoarse voice, "Your strength is really more and more beyond my imagination. If this continues, I will be defeated by your hands sooner or later. Since you know, then quickly surrender." The inner demons sneered. Surrender without a fight, the demon ancestor muttered to himself, and a trace of ridicule gradually crept up on his old face. Do you really think that victory is on your side? Qin Feiyang's pupils shrank. Could it be that this person was still hiding other means? My foundation is something you will never be able to imagine. The demon ancestor roared into the sky. Clang! Accompanied by an earth-shattering sound, two black demonic lights swept out from between his eyebrows. They were an ancient pagoda and a great hall. Do you know what they are? They are the Demon Tower and the Demon Palace. The people you care about are all here. Like your mother Lu Qiuyu, Yanwei Jiangjingyi and Old Man Ran. The demon ancestor laughed. Qin Feiyang raised his eyebrows and said, "You still want to use them to threaten us? No. You killed Lu Yun and Monarch Chen with your own hands. Threatening them is no longer a viable option." The demon ancestor shook his head. Then what do you want to do? Qin Feiyang said. To open to watch. Because a legendary divine artifact is about to be born. The demon ancestor laughed. What? Legendaries. Qin Feiyang looked at each other, then looked at the Demon Tower and the Demon Palace again, their eyes full of surprise. The demon ancestor waved his hand, and the Demon Tower and the Demon Palace rose into the air, emitting a monstrous demonic light. Following closely, the Demon Tower, accompanied by a loud rumble, sat on top of the Demon Palace. Immediately, the Demon Tower and the Demon Palace merged together. That demonic power also immediately soared several times. The Demon Palace is actually a part of the Demon Tower, but it was separated by Qin Badian back then, and turned into two divine artifacts. No. It turned into three divine artifacts. Because the Demon Crystal is also a part of the Demon Tower. The demon ancestor laughed wildly, and the Demon Crystal also rushed out from his body, like a black lightning, and instantly rushed to the top of the Demon Tower. Immediately, with a clang, the Demon Crystal was embedded on the top of the tower. Boom! The aura of the Demon Tower also soared again. So that's how it is. Qin Feiyang muttered. In the past, he had been wondering why the power of the Demon Crystal was so weak. It turned out that it was only a part of the Demon Tower. Did you notice that the current Demon Tower is exactly the same as the stone tower in the demon statue's hand? The inner demons secretly said, "Demon statue?" Qin Feiyang was stunned, and a demon statue involuntarily appeared in his mind. This demon statue was the third move of the Demon Dragon secret art, the Lord of all Demons. He carefully compared the stone tower in the demon statue's hand and the demon tower in front of him were exactly the same. Do you think that the demon ancestor's demon tower, the ancestor's broken sword, and Lu Xingyang's long spear are divine artifacts of the same level? The inner demon secretly asked. How would I know? However, Qin Feiyang pondered for a while, and said in a low voice, however, these 3 divine artifacts must be very important to them. Otherwise, they wouldn't have integrated these 3 divine artifacts into the 3rd form when they created the Demon Dragon Secret Art, Divine Dragon Secret Art, and Fire Phoenix Secret Art. Demon Tower awaken. Just as the two were communicating telepathically, the demon ancestor laughed wildly, and his divine power madly poured into the demon tower. Boom! A destructive aura rushed out of the demonic pagoda like a volcanic eruption. Qin Feiyang and the demon ancestor looked at each other. Clang! Murderous intent surged, and the blood-red long sword appeared again. Qin Feiyang charged toward the demon ancestor. The inner demons charged toward the demon tower. It's useless, it's useless. The demon ancestor laughed. The extermination symbol art appeared and blasted toward Qin Feiyang. The demon tower blasted toward the inner demons. Boom! In the end, it was a situation where both sides suffered. The demon tower was a legendary divine artifact, and coupled with the demon ancestor's cultivation, its power in a fully awakened state was not inferior to the inner demons. In other words, it was no longer 1 against 2 but 2 against 2. The demon ancestor also finally closed the forbidden technique. Looking at Qin Feiyang and the demon ancestor, he laughed. The real battle begins now. Even with the demon tower, it can't change your ending. The inner demons shouted. Is that so? The demon ancestor's divine sense emerged and pounced in all directions. The situation of the major battlefields entered his sight one by one, and his expression suddenly showed a trace of anger. I didn't expect that my subordinates would be so weak. The demon ancestor coldly snorted, but the corner of his mouth immediately pursed into a mocking smile. Looking at Qin Feiyang and the demon ancestor, he said, however, your so-called advantage will soon disappear. After saying that, the demon ancestor waved his hand, and a golden figure appeared beside him. It was a woman with a peerless appearance. She wore a pale golden dress, and her long golden hair fluttered in the wind like a waterfall. It's her. Qin Feiyang's gaze trembled. The woman in front of him was the mermaid princess. However, when seeing Qin Feiyang and the inner demons, the mermaid princess's eyes were extremely cold. This gaze made Qin Feiyang's heart ache faintly. The demon ancestor smiled mockingly, looked at the mermaid princess, and said with a smile, "Go and activate your battle soul. Let them see how terrifying you are." "Yes, master." The mermaid princess nodded and coldly glanced at Qin Feiyang and the demon ancestor. She then soared into the sky and stood at the top of the clouds. That pale golden dress, that soft long hair, fluttered slowly in the wind. From afar she looked like a fairy. Even the dark night sky was lit up because of her existence. Qin Feiyang raised his head and looked at the mermaid princess. The memories that had been sealed for a long time appeared in his mind one by one. Back then, in the Sea of Despair, he had spent 4 months with the mermaid princess. He still remembered every single detail that had happened. It was also at that time that he developed feelings for the mermaid princess. But because he carried too much on his shoulders, he had to bury this feeling in his heart. He thought about it. When everything was settled, he would go and find her. But he did not expect that when they met again, they would become strangers. Deity, now is not the time to be sentimental. Sensing the emotional fluctuations in Qin Feiyang's heart, the inner demons raised his eyebrows and secretly shouted. Qin Feiyang came back to his senses, took a deep breath and said, "I know. Good that you know. I will restrain the demon ancestor and the demon pagoda. You go and kill her." The inner demons said. Okay. Qin Feiyang nodded and immediately used the step formula, rushing toward the mermaid princess. "You won't even let go of the woman you love. You are really ruthless. But I will not let you succeed." The demon ancestor smiled sinisterly and immediately used the speed formula to block Qin Feiyang's path. "Your opponent is me." The inner demons roared and instantly rushed over, throwing a punch at the demon ancestor. Clang! However, his fist landed on the demonic pagoda. Because when he attacked the demon ancestor, the demon pagoda also flew in front of the demon ancestor and blocked the punch. Emperor Prison. The inner demons was furious. The purple gold dragon's soul roared and the emperor prison instantly opened. The demon ancestor's eyes suddenly became dull. Obviously, his consciousness was temporarily taken away by the emperor divine prison. Although the demon pagoda was a divine artifact, it had already given birth to a spirit. With a spirit it would have consciousness. Naturally, it could not escape the fate of being deprived and immediately stopped in the void, motionless. Now quickly, the inner demons shouted. Qin Feiyong leaped and rushed toward the mermaid princess like lightning, murmuring, "Although I don't want to hurt you, I have to do this now. I am sorry." However, seeing Qin Feiyong approaching like lightning, the mermaid princess was not nervous at all. Her expression was as cold as ever. "I am sorry." Qin Feiyong arrived in front of the mermaid princess and murmured again. He raised his arm and a trace of divine power shot out from his index finger. Like an arrow, it went straight toward the mermaid princess's forehead. At this moment, the demon ancestor and the demon pagoda regained consciousness. "She is my trump card. How can I let you kill her so easily?" The demon ancestor lowered his head and murmured. Not only was there no panic in his eyes, it was instead filled with mockery. Boom! Seeing that Qin Feiyong's divine power was about to enter the mermaid princess's forehead, a terrifying killing intent suddenly shot out from the mermaid princess's forehead and blasted toward the divine power. With a loud bang, the divine power shattered on the spot. This scene was too unexpected. Qin Feiyong did not even have time to react. After the killing intent shattered the divine power, it blasted onto the blood-red armor on Qin Feiyong's body. Clang! Although the killing intent came suddenly, it did not cause any actual damage to Qin Feiyong, because the armor formed by the battle character art could help him block 90% of the damage. This was a terrifying number. The battle character art is indeed extraordinary. The demon ancestor muttered as he stepped out and forcefully broke the imprisonment of the Emperor Divine Prison. "Don't even think about it." The inner demons shouted as they stood in front of the demon ancestor and the demon pagoda. No matter what, they had to buy time for Qin Feiyong to get rid of the mermaid princess. Because the mermaid princess's innate divine power was too terrifying. The Eye of Life, flesh and bones. And it was an indiscriminate, large-scale healing ability. If she was allowed to successfully activate her innate divine power, not only him and Qin Feiyong, but even Zhao Tailai and the others would be in danger. Genius remembered this address in 1 second. Mobile version of reading website. Chapter 1855. You. The demon ancestor looked at the inner demons, raised his hand, shook his finger and said, "You can't stop me." Whoosh! As soon as he finished speaking, a dozen doppelgangers appeared beside the demon ancestor and charged toward the inner demons. At the same time, the demon pagoda also blasted toward the inner demons with a monstrous demonic aura. "Mere doppelgangers, what can you do to me?" The inner demons laughed. "Look carefully, are we really just doppelgangers?" The dozen doppelgangers immediately let out a terrifying grin. As they spoke, the doppelgangers actually activated their Demon King physique. "This is..." The inner demon's eyes trembled, full of disbelief. These were not doppelgangers but incarnations. And 3,000 incarnations. But how is this possible? Just as the inner demons were distracted, the demon ancestor rushed toward Qin Feiyong like lightning. Qin Feiyong looked down at the demon ancestor, raised his arm again, and pointed in the air. A wave of divine power roared out and instantly drowned the mermaid princess. "Ah!" A scream immediately resounded through the night sky. "Hey!" However, the demon ancestor was not anxious at all. Instead he stopped and grinned. Qin Feiyong frowned. The demon ancestor's current behavior was too abnormal. "Do you think she's really the mermaid princess?" The demon ancestor suddenly laughed. "What do you mean?" Qin Feiyong was surprised. The demon ancestor joked. "She's just an ordinary woman in Shanghai in disguise." "Are you kidding me?" Qin Feiyong was furious. "Yes, I'm kidding you. Watching you and the inner demons crazily trying to kill her. It's really interesting." The demon ancestor laughed. "Since she's from Shanghai, I'll destroy her body and soul." Qin Feiyong shouted angrily. Originally, he planned to kill the mermaid princess first and resurrect her later. However, in order to revive, he needed flesh and blood. At the very least, he had to preserve a drop of the mermaid princess blood. However, he did not expect that this woman was not the mermaid princess at all. Since that was the case, there was no need for him to show mercy. Go ahead. The fiend ancestor waved his hand nonchalantly. The mockery on his face grew thicker. There was even a hint of playfulness in his eyes. Something's wrong. Qin Feiyong looked at Demon Alpha's expression and felt a strong sense of unease. Suddenly, with a wave of his hand, the godly power dissipated. The fake mermaid princess had died long ago. Only some flesh and blood remained, floating in the void. Why did you stop? Could it be that he has already noticed something? The demon ancestor raised his eyebrows. He suddenly attacked. A wave of divine power surged out and pounced on the remaining flesh. Sure enough, there's a problem. Qin Feiyong's heart trembled, and he quickly waved his hand, sending the remaining flesh and blood to the castle. Seeing this, the demon ancestor said angrily, I can't believe I didn't succeed. How infuriating. Who the hell is she? Qin Feiyong shouted. The demon ancestor smiled sinisterly. She is Ren Wushuang. What? It's actually my sister. Qin Feiyong's face turned pale. I know your character. In the end, you will definitely open the gate of rebirth and resurrect those relatives and friends you killed with your own hands. Similarly, I also know the necessary conditions to resurrect them. This necessary condition requires at least something from them, such as blood and hair. So previously, I secretly asked Lin Yi to disguise Ren Wushuang into the appearance of the mermaid princess, so that you could kill her with your own hands and destroy her bones. In this way, you can no longer resurrect her in the future. When you know the truth, you will definitely be in so much pain that you will hate yourself to death. But what I didn't expect was that you actually noticed the clues. In fact, it's also my fault. I was too obvious. The demon ancestor grinned. Damn it. Qin Feiyong was furious and roared, Bastard. Is it fun to do this? Almost. Just a little bit more. If it weren't for his quick reaction, Ren Wushuang would have been destroyed by him. Of course it's fun. The demon ancestor laughed. You lunatic, I won't spare you. Qin Feiyong took a step forward. The blood-red sword tore through the sky, carrying a monstrous killing intent as it slashed at the demon ancestor. The best part is yet to come. Don't worry. The demon ancestor waved his hand, and the Sever formula blasted at the blood-red sword. A destructive aura suddenly rolled out from the top of the sky. At the same time, below, under the bombardment of the demonic pagoda and the dozen clones, the inner demons were also blasted into the Dead Sea below. That is, Qin Feiyong's pupils contracted. 3,000 clones. The demon ancestor laughed. Beside him, more than a dozen clones appeared. Each clone had all the means and strength of the demon ancestor. How is this possible? Qin Feiyong murmured. 3,000 clones. I passed it on to Zhuge Mingyang. But he was too useless. You actually snatched it away. However, it doesn't matter if I give it to you. Anyway, soon you will go to hell and reunite with him. The demon ancestor laughed sinisterly. Swish. Before his voice died away, a golden figure appeared behind him. Another mermaid princess. Her expression was still as cold as ice. Qin Feiyong sized up the mermaid princess at this moment with a trace of suspicion in his eyes. I didn't lie to you this time. She is the real mermaid princess. The demon ancestor laughed coldly and turned to look at the mermaid princess. Go far away and activate your battle soul. Yes. The mermaid princess nodded. Without even looking at Qin Feiyong, she turned and left. Bastard, how dare you trick us? At this moment, the inner demons rushed out from the Death Sea, setting off huge waves and charging towards the mermaid princess. I won't let you succeed. The dozen clones and the demonic pagoda stood in front of her. You are not the only ones with 3,000 clones. The inner demons waved his hand and 500 clones appeared. He shouted, Kill the mermaid princess for me. The 500 clones were like killing gods. They smashed the demon ancestor's dozen clones and sent the demonic pagoda flying. Then they charged towards the mermaid princess. At the same time, Qin Feiyong also activated 3,000 clones. In other words, he and the inner demons had a total of 1,000 clones at this moment. You are really good. You have cultivated 3,000 clones to this level in such a short time. However, using 3,000 clones in front of me is simply showing off your slight skill in front of an expert. The demon ancestor laughed contemptuously. With a wave of his hand, 1,000 clones appeared in the void behind him. What? He can summon 1,000 clones by himself? Looking at this scene, Qin Feiyang and the inner demons were dumbfounded. The demon ancestor's face was full of disdain. He shouted, "Go crush them!" Whoosh! The 1,000 clones suddenly turned into two torrents. One charged towards the inner demon's clones and the other charged towards Qin Feiyang's clones. At this moment, the entire sky above the Death Sea was filled with the clones of the three. The demon ancestor looked around and smiled. Not bad, not bad. This is the atmosphere we should have. Whoosh! The inner demons rushed to Qin Feiyang's side and said in a deep voice, "It seems that it is impossible to kill the mermaid princess." Qin Feiyang smiled bitterly. Don't think about killing her first. Think about how to deal with the demon ancestor. How terrifying is this demon's strength? The inner demons were furious. They had already gone all out and almost used up all their trump cards, but they still could not defeat the demon ancestor. One had to know that the snowflake had yet to make a move. If the snowflake also made a move, could they really win? Whoosh! Accompanied by the sound of something breaking through the air, the demon pagoda also rushed into the sky and floated beside the demon ancestor. Old friend, it's been hard on you. The demon ancestor looked at the demon pagoda and smiled. Then, he looked at Qin Feiyang and the demon ancestor and said, "I can feel the despair in your hearts." Qin Feiyang and the demon ancestor's eyes darkened. Boom! It was also at this moment. In the distance, a terrifying aura exploded. Qin Feiyang and the demon ancestor hurriedly looked over and saw the mermaid princess in the distance standing against the wind. Behind her stood a golden figure. The golden figure was shrouded in mist, and their true appearance could not be seen clearly. But Qin Feiyang knew that it was the mermaid princess battle soul, because it was he who accompanied the mermaid princess to activate this battle soul. "Eye of life open," the mermaid princess whispered. The mist around the golden figure suddenly began to dissipate. The true appearance of the golden figure also quickly appeared in front of Qin Feiyang and the demon ancestor. It was actually a big golden fish. Its body was thousands of feet long and covered with golden scales. It was like a golden sun, emitting a dazzling golden light. The entire demonic dragon island was shrouded in this golden light at this moment. "This is her battle soul?" The inner demons murmured. "That's not right. Her battle soul is so similar to the statue of the first mermaid emperor. It should be a mermaid. But why is it a fish when it reveals its true appearance?" Qin Feiyang was surprised. The demon ancestor said, "Because the mermaid clan is the offspring of a fish and a human. A human and a fish can combine?" The inner demons were surprised. "Nonsense. Every beast that cultivates to become a god can transform into a human. But because they hate us humans, they disdain to do so. There are even some ferocious beasts that view the matter of transforming into humans as a disgrace. This is basic knowledge. Don't you know?" The demon ancestor said angrily. The inner demons were stunned. "What am I doing? Is there a need to be angry with him?" The demon ancestor shook his head and sneered. "Watch carefully. After all, this is the first and last time you will see the legendary Eye of Life." Qin Feiyang and the inner demons looked at each other, and a light flashed in their eyes. Did the demon ancestor forget that their Eye of Heaven could copy all battle souls and gifted superpowers? After the golden fish revealed its true appearance, it swam above the mermaid princess' head. The bright golden light made the demonic dragon island below as bright as day. This golden light, the Blood Kirin, the golden leopard, and Zhao Tailai, who were on the battlefield, looked up at the sky and looked at the mermaid princess. Sima Kuan, the white-haired old man, and the three divine beasts, the Wood Kirin, were all delighted. Damn it! She is going to activate her gifted superpowers. What is Qin Feiyang doing? Why didn't he kill her? Suddenly the Blood Kirin roared. Sima Kuan looked back at the Blood Kirin and sneered. "The mermaid princess is our trump card. Do you think the demon ancestor will let Qin Feiyang kill her? Also, didn't you see that the demon ancestor has already activated 3,000 clones? I am afraid that Qin Feiyong can't even protect himself now. The Blood Kirin's heart sank. He roared, Zhao Tailai Tang Hai Chui Li Jr. Leopard, prepare to die. His voice was like a bell, echoing in all directions. Zhao Tailai Chui Li and the Golden Leopard heard it and looked in the direction of the Blood Kirin. Their hearts sank. They knew the Blood Kirin's personality. He would not say such things unless he was in a desperate situation. Chapter 1856. Buzz. Suddenly, the big golden fish stopped swimming and floated above the mermaid princess's head. Immediately after, its glabella quickly split open, revealing a golden eye. It was as if it was cast in gold, shining with divine light. This is the Eye of Life? Qin Feiyong murmured. As soon as his voice fell, the mermaid princess raised her head and looked at the big golden fish. Her expression was extremely sincere, and she exclaimed, Light of life, please shine on this land. Voila! Immediately, the eye between the big fish's glabella emitted a golden light that flooded in all directions. In less than 3 breaths, the entire demonic dragon island was enveloped by this golden light. Although it was a golden light, it was not dazzling at all. It was like the rising sun, very gentle and warm. And in this golden light, there was a sacred aura. At this moment, the mermaid princess was bathed in divine light, like a goddess descending to the mortal world, sacred and inviolable. Deity, you have good taste. This woman is worth having. But I'm thinking, if you really get together, the child you give birth to, will it be a mermaid or a human? The inner demon's eyes were full of curiosity. What time is it now, and you still have the mood to think about this? Qin Feiyong was speechless. The inner demon secretly laughed. What are you afraid of? You and I both know that no matter how strong the demon ancestor is, the final winner of this battle will be us. This is under the premise that Snowflake doesn't make a move. If it also makes a move, I'm afraid it won't be so easy. Qin Feiyong said. If Snowflake makes a move, then activate the ultimate killer move and destroy it. A trace of hostility flashed in the eyes of the inner demons. Activating the ultimate killer move can indeed destroy everything, but... Yi Zichen muttered. I really can't bear it. Qin Feiyong sighed. I can understand your feelings, but sometimes we have no choice. Moreover, haven't you already made up your mind to activate the Gate of Rebirth? There's nothing to worry about, the inner demons said. However, don't forget that I've only managed to comprehend the Gate of Reincarnation to the initial level. At most, it can only revive 10,000 people. Qin Feiyong thought. The inner demons fell silent. But suddenly, their pupils shrank as they looked at the demon ancestor. He discovered that the fiend ancestor's old face had become much younger. Previously, madly activating forbidden techniques and burning his lifespan, the fiend ancestor's hair was already mottled, and he looked old and stooped. But now, the wrinkles on his face were quickly disappearing. His white hair was also rapidly turning black. Is this the ability of the Eye of Life? The two of them looked at each other and released their divine senses to check the situation of Sima Kuan and the others. As expected, the injuries of Sima Kuan and the others were also rapidly healing. Roar! Suddenly, an angry roar came from below. Immediately after, with a loud bang, a huge black dragon rushed into the sky. It was Mo Long. Not long ago, it was seriously injured by Qin Feiyong and fell into a coma. But now, not only did it wake up, but the injuries on its body had also mostly healed. The Eye of Life, flesh and bone, is indeed terrifying. The inner demons looked at the mermaid princess again, and the murderous intent in their eyes was even stronger than before. Although they couldn't bear to kill her, this woman had to die now. Otherwise, not only the fiend ancestor, but even Sima Kuan and the others would become immortal. It was not easy to seriously injure them, and victory was just about to come. I didn't expect that the mermaid princess would turn the situation around in an instant. The Blood Kirin's worry is not without reason. The situation is really bad now. If the young master can't get rid of the mermaid princess, then this time we will really die here. Looking at the white-haired old man and the others' changes, Zhao Tailai and the other two and the golden leopard's hearts were extremely heavy. Haha. Blood Kirin die. Sima Kuan laughed, and his aura surged out as he punched the Blood Kirin. Whether it was speed or divine power, They had all recovered to their peak state. On the other hand, the Blood Kirin, although it had had the upper hand before, it was also seriously injured. The most important thing was that after such a long battle, it had very little divine power left. Although it did not want to admit defeat, it could not change this fact. Boom! There was no suspense. The Blood Kirin was sent flying by Sima Qian's punch. Its physical body cracked, and blood and flesh splattered everywhere. Boom! At the same time, the white-haired old man and the other three immediately launched a storm of attacks on the Golden Leopard, Zhao Tailai, and the others. The gap between the two sides was too big. One side was at their peak state, while the other side was seriously injured and completely suppressed. After a while, the Blood Kirin, the Golden Leopard, Zhao Tailai, and the others were on the verge of death. Young master, if we don't get rid of the mermaid princess now, I'm afraid that even the gods can't help us. The Golden Leopard roared. Junior Leopard, you are too naive. Even if we kill the mermaid princess now, it will be useless. Because they have already recovered to their peak state. Let's fight to the death. But I don't regret it. Because it was you who taught me what companionship is and what trust is. To be able to fight side by side with you, to live and die with you is my honor. It is also my pride. I hope that in the next life we can meet sooner. The Blood Kirin muttered to itself. Its eyes were full of weakness, but a bright smile crept onto its face. It is smiling? Sima Qian looked at the Blood Kirin in disbelief. Qin Feiyang said expressionlessly, is the demon dragon also a chess piece in your hands? Hearing Qin Feiyang's words, the demon dragon's gaze trembled and turned to look at the demon ancestor. The demon ancestor was also stunned. He looked at the demon dragon for a moment and smiled. Of course, you are an exception. The demon dragon breathed a sigh of relief. He was afraid that in the eyes of the demon ancestor, he was just a chess piece. Qin Feiyang glanced at the demon dragon and looked at the demon ancestor. It seems that you still have a little conscience. Even now you can still be so calm. It's really admirable. The demon ancestor laughed again and again. The inner demons joked, my lord. It seems that he has indeed become complacent. Hurry up and shut him up. Let me have some peace and quiet. Qin Feiyang nodded. The demon ancestor raised his eyebrows and looked at the two suspiciously. Innate ability activate. Qin Feiyang whispered. The purple gold dragon soul rose into the air, and the glabella quickly split open. A millstone-sized eye appeared. That eye was half golden and half purple, exuding a hidden power. This is Eye of Heaven. The demon ancestor's eyes trembled. He was really complacent. He actually forgot that Qin Feiyang had this innate ability. Buzz. The next moment, above Qin Feiyang's head, a big golden fish also appeared. It was the mermaid princess's battle soul. Following closely, the Eye of Life opened. The golden wave was like a tide, sweeping in all directions. The Blood Kirin, the Golden Leopard, Zhao Tailai, and the others who were in danger suddenly felt as if they were bathed in warm sunlight. Their injuries were quickly recovering. The god power that he had used up was also recovering. They looked up at the sky in surprise. When they saw the big golden fish above Qin Feiyang, they suddenly became spirited. Yes, what were they afraid of? The young master had the Eye of Heaven. Any attack method could be copied. Not to mention other things. Just this Eye of Heaven made the young master an invincible existence. The situation was instantly reversed. Sima Qian and the others, who had not been complacent for long, immediately fell into panic. They could not help but begin to doubt. Could the demon ancestor really defeat Qin Feiyang like this? Genius remembered this site's address in a second. Mobile version of reading website. Chapter 1857. Lord Demon Ancestor. Looking at this scene, Mo Long panicked as he turned his head to look at Demon Ancestor. He didn't know if he didn't look, but when he did, he was shocked. At this moment, Demon Ancestor had his head lowered. His hands were tightly clenched, and his expression was extremely gloomy. How careless am I to actually forget about the Eye of Heaven? What's wrong with me? How could I make such a low-level mistake? This kind of negligence is really unforgivable. Qin Feiyang and the inner demons who made me lose face are even more unforgivable. At this moment he was like a wild beast that was about to go crazy. His face was extremely ferocious. Whether it was his self-confidence or self-esteem, they were both deeply hurt. Unforgivable. Absolutely unforgivable. Qin Feiyang. Demon ancestor suddenly raised his head and stared at Qin Feiyang and Emo Long. His eyes were scarlet as he laughed sinisterly. I didn't expect that I would be such a boring person. I actually played with you two ants for so long. Lord Demon Ancestor, Emo Long murmured. It could be seen that Demon Ancestor was deeply affected this time. Boring, really boring. No matter how many chances I give you, you can't escape the fate of death. Trash like you, what's the use of staying in this world? All of you, go to hell. 3,000 incarnations, open. Demon Ancestor roared. In the next moment, a scene that made Qin Feiyang and Emo Long pale appeared. In the void behind Demon Ancestor, incarnations continued to appear. There are actually so many. Inner demons said in shock. Qin Feiyang's pupils also contracted tightly. Wait. Suddenly, Qin Feiyang's body shook as he said in a deep voice, not long ago. He said that only those who fully comprehend the God's secret art can pass it down. Yeah. Why? Inner demons looked at him in confusion. He passed the 3,000 incarnations to Zhuge Mingyang. Doesn't that mean that he has fully comprehended the 3,000 incarnations? Qin Feiyang said. Hearing this, the inner demons felt as if they had been struck by lightning. They glared at the demon ancestor and said, doesn't that mean that he can condense 3,000 incarnations? You only realized it now? The demon dragon sneered and said, to tell you the truth, Lord Demon Ancestor was already able to create 3,000 incarnations 10,000 years ago. The hearts of Qin Feiyang and Li Wuyo sank. Apart from the fiend ancestor himself, only the two of them knew how terrifying the 3,000 avatars were. With the demon ancestor's capabilities and strength, if he fully activated his 3,000 clones, even a greater success divine war god would be killed instantly. Swish! In just a few breaths. In the void behind the ancestral fiend, a total of 2,000 avatars appeared. Not one more, not one less densely packed. Every avatar emitted an aura that was in no way weaker than the fiend ancestor himself. Furthermore, they had all activated their Demon King physique. At a glance they were like a group of demons. It was simply despairing. Haha, this is my last resort, and also your last moments in this world. Experience this despair well. Kill for me. The fiend ancestor roared ferociously. The 2,000 avatars waved their hands at the same time, and the word destroy appeared one by one. The destructive aura directly engulfed this world. Destroy word tactic. One must know. The 6 words tactic was a legendary killing technique. The fiend ancestor alone used the destroy word tactic, which was already heaven-defying enough, let alone now that 2,000 avatars had evolved the destroy word tactic at the same time. This scene was enough to make anyone feel despair. One could imagine how much pressure Qin Feiyang and the inner demons were facing now. Qin Feiyang took a deep breath and looked at the fiend ancestor. Your last resort is also your strongest move, right? That's right. The fiend ancestor said. Listening to your tone, it seems like you can block these 2,000 avatars. Don't joke around. With the strength of you and the inner demons, it's impossible to do so. The demon dragon snorted coldly. Qin Feiyang and the inner demons looked at each other, and a smile appeared on their faces. The demon dragon god was stunned. How could he still smile at this time? The inner demons looked at the fiend ancestor and laughed. Actually, we have been waiting for you to show your last card. The fiend ancestor looked at the inner demons, then looked at Qin Feiyang, and an inexplicable uneasiness rose in his heart. That's right. Because we know that with our current strength, it's very difficult to kill you. After all, you are ridiculously strong. So we can only wait for this moment to come. Qin Feiyang also laughed. The uneasiness in the fiend ancestor's heart grew stronger. Since we can't defeat you with our strength, then we will borrow your strength. Although the appearance of the 3,000 avatars shocked us, at the same time, it also made us happy. Because we haven't fully comprehended the 3,000 avatars, and can't condense 3,000 avatars. But now we can. And the number of avatars we condense will be twice as many as yours. Because there are two of us. The inner demons roared and also activated the purple gold dragon soul. This is. The fiend dragon looked at the inner demons in shock. Eye of heaven open. The inner demons in Qin Feiyang roared to the sky. In the void behind them, 5,000 avatars instantly appeared. Among them, 2,500 avatars were exactly the same as Qin Feiyang. The other 2,500 avatars were exactly the same as the inner demons. In addition to the 1,000 avatars that were fighting around them, the two had a total of 6,000 avatars. How is this possible? Only the altar that led to the divine ruin was protected by a layer of blood light, and it quickly sank to the bottom of the sea. Everything disappeared. Only Sima Qian, Zhao Tailai, and the others stood in the void far away, looking at the sky anxiously. Who would be the one that fell? The light gradually dissipated. The heavens and earth also slowly quieted down. Even the sea seemed to be exceptionally calm. Everyone could clearly hear their own heartbeats and breathing. When the light completely dissipated, Sima Qian, the white-haired old man, the 7 people, and the 3 beasts changed their expressions and quickly flew toward the sky. They saw a figure falling from the sky. It was the fiend ancestor. At this moment, the fiend ancestor's body was covered in blood, and he had already fainted. The fiend dragon and the fiend pagoda fell together with him. The fiend dragon's huge body was broken. 8 of its 9 heads were smashed. The remaining head was also split into pieces. Its life force was extremely weak. The fiend pagoda was also in pieces, and its divine light dimmed. Young master at the same time. At this moment, Zhao Tailai and the others looked at the 2 figures in the sky, and could not help but cry tears of joy. They had experienced too much in this night's battle. They had been hovering between despair and hope. This was not only mental torture but also mental destruction. They were even prepared to die in battle. Now, seeing the fiend ancestor finally fall, how could they not be excited? Whoosh! Sima Qian and the others rushed over and caught the fiend ancestor, the fiend dragon, and the fiend pagoda. Looking at the dying fiend ancestor, Sima Qian cried and shouted, "Lord Fiend Ancestor, wake up, you can't die." The white-haired old man and the 3 beasts were also in grief. But more than that, they were in despair. Even the fiend ancestor was defeated by Qin Feiyang's opponent. Did they still have any hope? The fiend dragon glanced at the fiend ancestor, then looked up at Qin Feiyang and the inner demons. It looked at Sima Qian and said, "Sima Qian, don't worry about him. Let's run." Run. Sima Qian's eyes widened in anger and he roared, "It was the Lord Fiend Ancestor who gave you the status and strength you have today, and you want to abandon the Lord Fiend Ancestor? Do you have any conscience?" Chapter 1858. Humph! Don't make it sound so nice. Do you think we can't see that the Demon Lord only cares about you, Sima Yuan and Emo Long? As for us, we're just a dog by his side. No. In his eyes we are less than dogs. The white-haired old man and the 3 beasts snorted coldly. You. Sima Qian glared at the 7 men and 3 beasts. Humph! If you want to stay here and wait for death, that's your business. We won't die with you. Let's go. The white-haired old man waved his sleeves and left Emo Long and Emo Pagoda behind. The other 6 people and the Wood Qilin and the other 2 beasts also looked coldly at Sima Qian, then turned and left without a word. Bastard, bastard! Sima Qian roared. Mermaid Princess, where are you? Come and save the Demon Lord. At the same time, he released his divine power to support Emo Long and Emo Pagoda. Yeah. Where's the Mermaid Princess? The Blood Qilin, the Golden Leopard, and Zhao Tailai were also gathered nearby. When they heard Sima Qian's roar, they looked at the sky suspiciously. Tang Hai said, "Don't worry about the Mermaid Princess. We can't let Mu Qilin and the others leave." That's right. They are all gods of war, and they are all ruthless. If they leave alive, there will be no end of trouble. The Blood Qilin said. Then what are we waiting for? Let's go. Zhao Tailai shouted. The 3 men and 2 beasts rushed toward the white-haired old man and the others with murderous intent. Tang Hai and the Blood Qilin were the fastest. They were the first to arrive in front of the group. When the white-haired old man saw this, he raised an eyebrow and looked at Tang Hai and the Blood Qilin. The battle is over. What else do you want? Over. You are still alive. How can you call it over? Chui Li, the golden leopard, and Zhao Tailai came and blocked the group's rear. They sneered. Don't go too far. The 7 men and the 3 beasts glared at each other angrily. Cut the crap. Attack. Chui Li shouted. The 6 beast spirits immediately charged towards the group of people. The Blood Kirin immediately activated the dragon tattoo sword. The scary light made the white-haired old man and the others fall into despair. Blood Kirin, we used to be friends. Let us go. We promise that we will never stir up trouble again. The group of people begged. Forget about Chui Li, Zhao Tailai, Tang Hai, and the golden leopard. The Blood Kirin alone was enough to wipe them all out. The Blood Kirin was a low-level war god, and it had 2 supreme quality weapons. Firmament. Qin Feiyong and the inner demons stood side by side, their bodies also riddled with wounds. Although they had defeated the Fiend Ancestor, the Fiend Ancestor's final strike was something they could not afford to pay. However, his life wasn't in danger. The inner demons glanced at Tang Hai and the others, then at Sima Qian and the Demon Ancestor, and said, I can't let my guard down yet. I must kill the Demon Ancestor before he wakes up. Qin Feiyong nodded and glanced around. There was a trace of suspicion in his eyes. Where was the Mermaid Princess now? Mermaid Princess, where are you? I beg you to come quickly and save Lord Devil Ancestor. Sima Qian hugged the Demon Ancestor and roared crazily. As for the white-haired old man and the Wood Kirin, he didn't care. Now, he just wanted to wake up the Demon Ancestor. Splash! Suddenly, a golden figure swept out from the sea below and headed straight for Sima Qian. It was the Mermaid Princess. Although the Mermaid Princess's memory had been erased, she was not a puppet. She had her own consciousness. Previously, when Qin Feiyong and the Demon Ancestor were fighting, she felt the danger and turned to escape. But because she was too slow, she was still affected by the aftershocks and blasted into the sea. Quick! When Sima Qian saw the Mermaid Princess, his face lit up with joy. However, at this moment, a blood-red figure appeared above the Mermaid Princess. That's right. It was the inner demons. Get lost. The Mermaid Princess shouted coldly. How cold? The inner demons muttered. At the same time, Qin Feiyong also descended in front of Sima Qian. The joy on Sima Qian's face froze. He hurriedly looked at Qin Feiyong and shouted, Qin Feiyong, I beg you, please give the Demon Ancestor a way out. I'm willing to die for him. Drops of tears dripped onto the Demon Ancestor's face. Qin Feiyong glanced at Sima Qian, then lowered his head to look at the Demon Ancestor and sighed. Do you see that? There are people in this world who are willing to die for you and shed tears for you. That's right. The Demon Ancestor said. What? Qin Feiyong was shocked. He stared at the Demon Ancestor and said, You didn't faint? My lord. Sima Qian immediately lowered his head and looked at the Demon Ancestor in his arms. The tears in his eyes could not stop falling. The Demon Ancestor slowly opened his eyes and smiled at Sima Qian. Actually, I didn't faint. Didn't faint. Sima Qian was stunned and asked, Then why? I just wanted to see how many people would protect me at all costs when I'm in trouble. In the end, only you. However, I'm already very happy. The Demon Ancestor smiled. My lord. Sima Qian murmured and suddenly smiled happily. At this moment he was just like an innocent child. Oh no, the Demon Ancestor didn't faint. Then didn't he hear everything we said just now? The white-haired old man and the other 2 who were in a bitter battle, as well as the Wood Qilin and the other 2 beasts, all turned pale. Lord Demon Ancestor, we were wrong. Please save us. We swear that we will never be disloyal again. We will serve you wholeheartedly. They were now at the end of their rope. They could only thicken their faces and ask the Demon Ancestor for help. The Demon Ancestor ignored them and slowly got up. Demonic flames burned on his body. His injuries were instantly healed. As he spoke, he took a step forward, raised his arm like lightning, and grabbed the Mermaid Princess' neck. The Demon Ancestor turned to look at the inner demons and shook his head. You can kill anyone but her. Are you joking? The inner demons sneered. Joking? It seems that I am not the only one with a bad memory. Even you have a bad memory. If that is the case, I will kindly remind you. Heart Union Knot. The Demon Ancestor said. Heart Union Knot. Qin Feiyang's eyes trembled. The inner demons immediately looked at Qin Feiyang's chest. That's right. The mermaid princess and Qin Feiyang had a heart union knot. Their lives were already tied together. If either of them were to meet with misfortune, the other would die with them. Actually, you don't have to kill her. Because after this battle, I have come to a realization. The demon ancestor sighed. Realization? Qin Feiyang frowned. The Blood Kirin, the Golden Leopard, and Tang Hai quickly rushed to Qin Feiyang's side and looked at the demon ancestor suspiciously. Lord Demon Ancestor, you... Sima Qian also looked at the demon ancestor in shock. The demon ancestor smiled at Sima Qian and looked at Qin Feiyang. When I was defeated by you, I could not help but think of the things I had done in the past. I repeatedly asked myself what was the point of doing all this. What did I get? Nothing. I didn't get anything. Instead, I was betrayed. Thinking about it, it is really sad. The demon ancestor shook his head and laughed at himself. His face was full of melancholy and disappointment. The inner demon said to himself, I can't let my guard down. He might just be confusing us. Yes. First, destroy the mermaid princess Sea of Qi. Qin Feiyang transmitted. The inner demons nodded. A wisp of god power swept out and instantly entered the mermaid princess Sea of Qi. Immediately after, the inner demons brought the mermaid princess to Qin Feiyang's side and stood side by side. Qin Feiyang also immediately sent the mermaid princess to the Black Tortoise world. Because now the Black Tortoise world was safer than the castle. Genius memorized the address of this site in 1 second. Mobile version of reading website. M. Chapter 1859. Sima Qian glanced at Qin Feiyang and the others, then flew to the demon ancestor with Emo Long and Emo Pagoda. His face was full of concern as he said, My lord, what happened to you? Don't scare me. The demon ancestor sighed and looked at Sima Qian. He smiled and said, Actually, my awakening has something to do with you. Has something to do with me? Sima Qian was slightly stunned and looked at the demon ancestor suspiciously. Yes. Just now your tears dripped on my face. At that moment I could clearly feel the despair and sorrow in your heart. At the same time, your tears made me feel an unprecedented warmth. The demon ancestor smiled. My lord, Sima Qian looked at the demon ancestor in a daze, and tears fell from his eyes uncontrollably. The demon ancestor said, Thank you for always being with me. No. I should be the one saying something to you. If you didn't save me and my brother back then, we would have fallen off the cliff and died. It's you who gave us all this. It's also you who gave us the dignity of being human. You are our second parent. Sima Qian waved his hand and shouted. Second parent, the demon ancestor muttered and sighed. But I didn't fulfill my responsibility as a father and even killed your brother. No. My brother was killed by Qin Feiyang. Sima Qian roared. Zhao Tailai raised his eyebrows and said, Your brother committed suicide. How many times do we need to say it? Sima Qian said angrily, Even if he committed suicide, it was you who forced him. Unreasonable. Zhao Tailai snorted coldly. Sima Qian turned a deaf ear and stared at Qin Feiyang and the inner demons. He said word by word, I will definitely avenge my brother. Good. Now I'll give you the chance. The inner demons took a step forward, and that terrifying murderous aura rushed towards Sima Qian like a wave. Sima Qian's heart was suddenly filled with an unresolvable fear. Even the demon ancestor wasn't a match for these two, let alone him. If he really wanted to fight, he didn't have the courage. But suddenly, the demon alpha stepped in front of Sima Qian. Demonic power surged out and blocked the inner demon's murderous aura. Regardless of whether you've come to your senses or not, we have to settle this today. The blood-red hair of the inner demons danced in the wind. As the murderous aura surged, the blood-red longsword reappeared. Its terrifying sharpness swept across the world. This is the current kill formula. Sima Qian, who was standing behind Demon Alpha, could not help but tremble. Previously, Han Sun had been fighting the Blood Kirin, so he hadn't experienced the power of the kill word. And at this moment, faced with the blood-red longsword that was so close to him, he could not help but feel despair as he felt the sharpness of the sword that could tear the heavens and earth apart. It was only then that he realized that the Lord Demon Ancestor had been fighting with such a terrifying existence. Looking at the aggressive inner demons, the Demon Ancestor sighed deeply. He then looked at Qin Feiyong with a complicated expression. Qin Feiyong said in a deep voice, back to the previous topic, "What do you mean by awakening?" This person's sudden change made him very uncomfortable. The Demon Ancestor pondered for a while and sighed. "You can think of it this way. I plan to turn over a new leaf." "My lord, you." Sima Qian looked at the Demon Ancestor in shock. The Demon Ancestor turned to look at Sima Qian and smiled. "You've been with me since you were young. You know everything that I've done in my life." Sima Qian nodded. The Demon Ancestor said, "Then what do you think of all that I've done?" Sima Qian said, "To create a truly peaceful world." "Yes, that's what I thought at first. But now I realize that it's just an excuse to satisfy my selfish desires. Actually, Qin Feiyong is right. I'm a selfish person. I don't trust anyone. For example, the Blood Kirin and the others have followed me for so many years. I've been hiding the fact that the Demon Hall has a time array from them." The Demon Ancestor laughed at himself. "The Demon Hall really does have a time array," Qin Feiyong mumbled. Sima Qian said, "My lord, you don't have to blame yourself. What you did was right. Look at the Blood Kirin. Didn't it betray us? No. If I treated it with sincerity like Qin Feiyong, would it betray me?" The Demon Ancestor said. Sima Qian fell silent. "I used to say that Qin Feiyong was too naive and too loyal. But that's not the case. I was too stupid. After living for so many years, I didn't even understand the trust between companions. That's why I lost to him." The Demon Ancestor sighed. "My lord," Sima Qian muttered. "Perhaps this is fate. 10,000 years ago, I lost to Qin Badian. 10,000 years later, I lost to his descendants. To be honest, I'm still a little unwilling." The Demon Ancestor raised his arm and covered his face with his hand. He was in so much pain that he even shed tears. Looking at the Demon Ancestor at this moment, Sima Qian's heart ached. He roared, "My lord, you haven't lost. You still have the fourth move of the demonic dragon art." The fourth move. Qin Feiyong and the inner demons looked at each other with a trace of doubt in their eyes. It seemed that they really hadn't seen the Demon Ancestor use the fourth move of the demonic dragon art. The fourth move, it's useless. The moment he opened the Eye of Heaven, our ending was already decided. The Demon Ancestor muttered, his heart filled with despair. Sima Qian said in a deep voice, "Is the Eye of Heaven really that heaven-defying?" "The Eye of Heaven is that heaven-defying. There are a total of 10 heaven-defying battle souls in the world. The Eye of Heaven is ranked 2nd, and my Eye of Despair is only ranked 6th. The Demon Ancestor said. Qin Feiyong asked, "What's the first battle soul?" The inner demon's expression changed on the spot, and immediately took the frozen Qin Feiyong, turned around and fled. The Blood Kirin, Zhao Tailai and others also fled in horror. In their hearts it was extremely unbelievable. The Demon Ancestor actually chose to self-destruct? Lord Demon Ancestor. Sima Qian also roared in grief. The Demon Ancestor waved his hand, and a palm-sized ancient city appeared and swept toward Sima Qian. It was Demon Capital. Quickly take Demon Capital, Demon Dragon and Demon Pagoda. Let's go. When the matter here is over, we must return Lin Yi and the others to Qin Feiyong. The Demon Ancestor shouted. No. I won't go. If we die together. Sima Qian shook his head. Demon Capital. At the same time, when the inner demons heard the word Demon Capital, they suddenly trembled. They handed the frozen Qin Feiyong to Zhao Tailai and shouted, "You all go first. I will go and take Demon Capital." No one can escape. Snowflake sneered. The cold current was like a tide, rolling in all directions. Whether it was Sima Qian, the inner demons, or even the Blood Kirin, Zhao Tailai and others, they were all frozen in an instant. So strong. With our current strength, we can't be Snowflake's opponent at all. Everyone felt despair. You bastard. I will die with you. The Demon Ancestor roared. Trash will always be trash. No matter how you carve it, it can't become something great. Snowflake's words were full of disdain. A wisp of cold air emerged and entered the Demon Ancestor's head. The demon ancestor suddenly screamed in pain. And at the next moment, the demon ancestor suddenly opened his eyes. The originally dark pupils had changed. It was as if they were condensed from ice, exuding a bone-chilling cold current. Crack! The inner demons and Qin Feiyang forcibly shattered the ice on their bodies and looked up at the demon ancestor. Their faces suddenly changed drastically. Although this person is useless, his physical body is not bad. The demon ancestor looked at Qin Feiyang and laughed ferociously. Chapter 1860. Qin Feiyang said furiously, "What did you do to him? Isn't it obvious? I destroyed his divine soul and took away his divine body. In other words, I'm the demon ancestor now." The demon ancestor laughed. "Bastard! What right do you have to take other people's lives?" Qin Feiyang roared. The blood-red sword shattered the void and slashed toward the snowflake's body. "Mere ants, how dare you compete with the sun and the moon?" The demon ancestor laughed contemptuously. The snowflake shook the sky and shattered the blood-red sword. Qin Feiyang was also sent flying. "This lord," the inner demons roared and immediately activated the battle and kill formula, charging toward the demon ancestor. "You're all ants. Die!" The demon ancestor laughed maniacally. The snowflake's cold aura surged and condensed into ice arrows, shattering the sky. Accompanied by clanging sounds, the blood-red armor on the inner demon's body shattered. The inner demon's body was pierced through by the ice arrows. It was like a sieve riddled with holes, and blood flowed out like a waterfall. So strong! The inner demon's face was pale. Whoosh! Qin Feiyang flew over and supported the inner demons. He asked with concern, "How are you?" "I won't die. But this divine item isn't something we can deal with," the inner demons said in a low voice. Qin Feiyang raised his head and looked at the demon ancestor and the snowflake. "Are you in despair? This is the strength of this lord. For trash like you, this lord can kill you with a flick of his finger." The demon ancestor laughed, his face full of contempt. "Although I know that the one controlling this body isn't the demon ancestor himself, hearing this voice is still infuriating." The inner demons snorted. "Yeah, but no one expected that the demon ancestor would be killed by the snowflake in the end," Qin Feiyang said. The inner demons said, "Activate the ultimate means. Otherwise we'll all be wiped out." Ultimate move. Qin Feiyang lowered his head, a trace of hesitation on his face. Now is not the time to hesitate. Although the Eye of Heaven can duplicate fighting souls and deity techniques, it can't duplicate deity artifacts. Furthermore, Snowflake's strength has far exceeded the limit of what the Eye of Heaven can duplicate. If we hesitate any longer, we'll all die. The inner demons shouted. Qin Feiyang's eyes shivered. He lifted his head to look at demon ancestor and snowflake. That was right. There was no other choice now. If he wanted to fight against the snowflakes, he had to use his ultimate move. Qin Feiyang took a deep breath, turned to the inner demons, and said in a deep voice, "Go, I will try my best to delay until you come out." The inner demons nodded and turned around to Zhao Tailai and the others. With a wave of his hand, he led everyone to the Black Tortoise world. In this way, only Qin Feiyang and Sima Kuan were left. As for Sima Kuan, he was still sealed in ice. Demon ancestor laughed ferociously, looked at Lin Yi and shouted, "Go and kill them." "Yes, master." Lin Yi responded respectfully and waved her jade-like hand. Immediately, Lu Qiuyu and the others charged towards Ling Yunfei and the others. "Mother!" Ling Yunfei saw Lu Ji in the crowd, and his body trembled suddenly. Luo Qingzhu also saw Jiang Zhengyi and Luo Qianxue. Qin Feiyang secretly said, "Everyone, I know you can't bear it. In fact, I feel the same, but I need time." "Don't worry. I have already prepared myself," Luo Qingzhu murmured. The power of a pseudo-god erupted and charged towards Jiang Zhengyi and Luo Qianxue. "Yes, we are all ready." "Mother, I'm sorry." Ling Yunfei murmured, took a step forward, and landed in front of Lu Ji. The power of a pseudo-god directly went into Lu Ji's glabella. Lu Ji's blood immediately splattered in the sky. "Is this the taste of killing your loved ones with your own hands?" Looking at the fallen Lu Ji, Ling Yunfei's vision blurred with tears. He suddenly raised his head, stared at demon ancestor, and roared, You will die a horrible death. Boom! With a heart full of anger, he charged towards old Master Ren. Young master, let us kill the little prince and the mistress. Willow Tree and Yu Huang looked down at Qin Feiyong and said. Qin Feiyong heard this, looked at the little prince and his mother, closed his eyes and nodded to Willow Tree and Yu Huang. Li Jian immediately charged towards the little prince and Lu Qiuyu. What is the meaning of doing this? Qin Feiyong opened his eyes suddenly, stared at Demon Ancestor and roared. Ha! Playing with the lives of others in the palm of your hand, making them cry in despair and pain. What is better than this? Demon Ancestor laughed wildly. You are a beast. Qin Feiyong said coldly and used teleportation, flickering in the void. Those who died were all sent to the castle by him. Demon Ancestor said. You really want to open the gate of rebirth and revive them? That's right. Qin Feiyong didn't deny it, but there was a trace of nervousness in his expression. Don't be nervous. I won't stop you. You can take away their corpses. Do you know why? Because you won't have the chance to revive them. Because in a moment you will also die here like them. Demon Ancestor laughed wildly. Unforgivable. Absolutely unforgivable. Suddenly, Sima Qian roared. With a cracking sound, the ice that trapped him shattered with a loud bang. He raised his head and stared at Snowflake like a mad beast. His eyes were scarlet as he roared. You piece of shit, return Lord Demon Ancestor to me. Boom! His aura surged out, and the Wind Moon Pavilion recovered. He led the Wind Rain Pavilion and madly attacked Snowflake. You are also a piece of trash, Despair. Demon Ancestor's face was full of disdain, and his pupils instantly turned gray. Eyes of despair. Snowflake had taken away Demon Ancestor's divine body, so naturally, he had also obtained Demon Ancestor's ability. Sima Qian suddenly fell into despair as he lay in the void, trembling. At the same time, Black Tortoise Realm. Zhao Tailai and the others had also broken the ice and escaped. At this moment, they stood in the sky above the Devil's Land, looking at the inner demons in front of them, their eyes full of surprise. They saw the inner demons holding a blood-colored sword and scanning the continent of the Black Tortoise Realm. His blood-red eyes glowed with a bloodthirsty light. The Blood Kirin carefully asked, Master, what are you going to do? The inner demons said, Actually, my original body and I still have an ultimate killer move. Ultimate killer move? The Blood Kirin was stunned and turned to look at Zhao Tailai and the others. What ultimate killer move? We don't know. Zhao Tailai shook his head. This ultimate killer move is too cruel, so my original body and I have been hiding it in our hearts. The inner demons said. Zhao Tailai asked, what is the ultimate killer move? Killer Zone. The inner demons said one word at a time. Killer Zone? The Blood Kirin, the Golden Leopard, and Zhao Tailai looked at each other, their eyes full of confusion. The inner demons lowered his head to look at the blood-colored sword in his hand and sighed. The killer formula you see now is not the complete form. This is still not the complete form. The 3 people and 2 beasts were shocked. Yes. The inner demons nodded. Boom! The blood-colored sword glowed with a bloody light. A blood-red barrier appeared out of nowhere. The barrier was a few hundred feet wide, and the murderous aura it exuded was countless times stronger than before. This is the Killer Zone. The inner demons said. What does this Killer Zone do? Tang Hai was surprised. The Killer Zone is the same as the previous killer formula. It absorbs the blood of creatures to increase the power of the blood-colored sword. The inner demons said. Increase the power of the blood-colored sword? I remember that it used to increase your cultivation. Zhao Tailai said. P.S. Specially updated a chapter to explain that the WeChat group has been disbanded. Don't ask why. It's private. Please remember the domain name of this book. Literature Library mobile version website. Chapter 1861. Yes. In the past, it would increase one's cultivation by a whole realm. But now it's even more terrifying than before. Because the slaughter domain can increase the power of the blood-colored sword endlessly. The inner demons said. Endlessly? The 3 men and 2 beasts were dumbfounded. Didn't that mean that there was no upper limit? Yes. There's no upper limit. As long as there's enough blood, The power of the blood-colored sword can even surpass Chang Shui and the castle, the inner demons said. His blood-colored hair danced in the air, and his whole body emitted a shocking sharpness. Surpass Chang Shui and the castle. The 3 men and 2 beasts were so shocked that they couldn't close their mouths. Tang Hai said in a deep voice, "Such a terrifying slaughter domain must have a huge price to pay." Yes. In the past, the amount of blood needed to increase one's cultivation was hundreds, thousands or tens of thousands. But now the slaughter domain requires the blood of millions, tens of millions, or even billions of creatures. Moreover, the slaughter domain has a time limit. It can only be maintained for an hour. It's because of this that my original body and I haven't opened the slaughter domain. But now we have no choice. The inner demons said. In other words, you want to kill all the creatures in the Black Tortoise world now? Zhao Tailai was shocked. Yes. The inner demons nodded. How can that be? There are countless sea beasts in the Sea of Reincarnation. You can go find them. Zhao Tailai hurriedly said. Old Zhao. Although there are many sea beasts in the Sea of Reincarnation, the slaughter domain can only be maintained for an hour. There's no time. Moreover, the young master is outside. He can't delay for that long. Tang Hai sighed. Yes. The teleportation gate can't be opened in the demonic dragon island. Even if we go to help kill the sea beasts, it will take a long time. The Black Tortoise world is different. As the masters of the Black Tortoise world, the young master and the inner demons both control the power of the rules. As long as they control the power of the rules, they can instantly kill all the creatures here. Cui Li said. But isn't this too cruel? Zhao Tailai said. Don't worry. I will open the gate of rebirth and revive them, because he is such a foolish person. The inner demons shook their heads and smiled. Boom! Following closely. He took a step forward and stood at the peak of the clouds. He roared, "Power of rule appear." Rumble. Immediately, the entire Black Tortoise world sky was filled with the power of laws, filled with a world-destroying aura. Although I want to revive them, I still can't bear to watch. Zhao Tailai sighed and turned to look elsewhere. Innocent creatures, I'm sorry. The inner demons roared, and the power of the rules poured down from the sky like a torrent. The void was annihilated and the earth was shattered. It was a doomsday scene. He's actually apologizing? This is really unprecedented. Cui Li smiled. Yeah, I've known him for so long, but this is the first time I've heard him say those words. Seems that he has indeed changed. Tang Hai said. You can still laugh? Zhao Tailai raised his eyebrows. Old Zhao, I understand how you feel right now, but the inner demons is right. We don't have a choice now. If we don't open the slaughter zone, not only will we die, but the people here will also be killed by Snowflake, because it controls the power of laws to travel through time. The Black Tortoise world can't stop it at all. Cui Li sighed. Zhao Tailai fell silent. Outside, the massacre was still ongoing. Lu Qiuyu and the little prince had died in the hands of Willow Tree and Yu Huang. Luo Qingzhu had also killed Jiang Zhengyi and his wife with her own hands. Although Jiang Zhengyi had also stepped into the false god realm, his strength was still too weak compared to Luo Qingzhu. After all, Qin Feiyang wasn't the only one who had become stronger. Luo Qingzhu had also become stronger. The thunder leopard, the seal, the seahorse, the earth dragon, and the others were also killed by Li Jian and the crocodile emperor. Many people had already stepped into the false god realm, including the crocodile emperor and the other beasts. Therefore, people like Old Master Ren Yanwei and the others had no power to fight back. This was a one-sided massacre. However, no one felt the slightest joy because they were killing their former companions and their loved ones. This was torture. Haha, how wonderful. The demon ancestor laughed. Seeing everyone fall one by one, not only did he not have the slightest sympathy, but his expression became crazier. Inner demons, hurry up. Qin Feiyang clenched his hands tightly. His nails had sunk into his flesh, causing blood to flow. But his heart was even more painful. Sima Kuan on the side had completely fallen into despair, and couldn't extricate himself. Time passed by slowly. Finally, everyone except Lin Yi had been killed. Corpses piled up in the ancient castle. Ling Yunfei and others stood in the void stained with blood. Their eyes had turned blood red. They didn't kill their eyes, but they hated Snowflake. It's over so soon? What a bunch of useless trash. The demon ancestor snorted coldly, looked at Qin Feiyong and said, "Do you want to continue playing?" "Sure." Qin Feiyong grinned. "Haha, kid, you're really interesting. Okay, this lord will fulfill your wish." The demon ancestor laughed. With a wave of his hand, more than 100 people appeared in the void in an instant. These people were the more than 100 pseudo-gods under the demon ancestor. "Kill them all for me," the demon ancestor shouted. Yes, the more than 100 pseudo-gods nodded in response. They immediately erupted with a terrifying aura and charged toward Ling Yunfei and others. Courting death. Before, I really didn't dare to move because I can't die yet. I want to revive everyone alive. But now it's no longer up to you. Qin Feiyong shouted. The demon ancestor joked, "It's not up to me? Is it still up to you? You're too conceited. If you had killed me at the first moment, then all of this would have been over. Unfortunately, you gave me time." Qin Feiyong said. "Is that so? In that case, the disappearance of the inner demons is to prepare some big killing move." The demon ancestor said. Yes. Qin Feiyong nodded. Haha. What a surprise, you actually still have a trump card. But, are you sure you can threaten me? Do you know how terrifying this sovereign strength is? The demon ancestor raised his head and laughed, his face full of disdain. I don't know. But I know that you will definitely die today. Inner demons appear. Qin Feiyong shouted. Boom! A shocking murderous aura, like a volcanic eruption, emerged in the void next to Qin Feiyong. Whoosh! Following closely, the inner demons appeared out of thin air. The blood-colored sword in his hand emitted a dazzling blood-red light, and the aura and sharpness that it released had reached an unprecedented level. The inner demons had not yet made a move, and the void within a radius of hundreds of thousands of miles had directly turned into chaos, terrifying beyond compare. The slaughter domain was still there. Inside it was like a sea of blood with blood waves surging. The inner demon stood in the slaughter domain, his blood-red hair fluttering in the wind, and he was a living god of death. This aura, this sharpness, the demon ancestor looked at the blood-colored sword at this moment, and his pupils constricted tightly. Even he had a premonition of uneasiness. For the sins you have committed, forgive me. The inner demon said word by word in a sonorous and forceful manner. Immediately, he took a step forward, raised the blood-colored sword in his hand, and slashed out angrily. Heaven and earth fell into silence. At this moment it was as if time had stopped. Whether it was the demon ancestor, the inner demons, or Qin Feiyong, they could not hear any sound. They could only see the blood-colored sword, tearing through the chaos, and slashing towards Snowflake's body. Chapter 1862. Clang! This sword was like splitting the sky and earth apart. Accompanied by sparks, the Snowflake's body was cut in half by the blood-colored long sword on the spot. What? The demon ancestor was aghast. Lin Yi on the side was also dumbfounded. The snowflake was a heaven-defying divine artifact, but it was cut in half by a sword? Why is that? Why did the power of the blood-colored long sword suddenly become so terrifying? Seeing this scene, Qin Feiyong and the inner demons were also stunned, because this was also the first time they opened the slaughter zone and witnessed the true horror of the kill tactic. This was not something that could be described with the word apocalyptic. The inner demons came back to his senses, and his eyes surged with blood as he roared, "Today is your doomsday." He took a step forward and charged at the demon ancestor. Even the snowflake's body was cut in half, let alone the demon ancestor's body. At this time the inner demons was unstoppable. Bloody flames lingered all over his body, making him look like a killing god. The snowflake's artifact spirit looked at the inner demons at this moment, and couldn't help but feel a sense of fear. Once the slaughter zone is opened, I am invincible. The inner demons raised his sword and slashed. Thousands of sword chi turned into a huge wave and rolled toward the demon ancestor. The demon ancestor's face was pale. Slaughter zone. What kind of divine art is this? Seeing that the demon ancestor was about to be engulfed by the sword chi, the snowflake that was cut in half suddenly emerged with the power of law. Immediately after, the snowflake, the demon ancestor, Lin Yi Demon Dragon, and Demon Pagoda disappeared without a trace. And the inner demons raised his eyebrows. After being cut in half, he could still use the power of law? Not good. Go to the Black Tortoise world. Qin Feiyong suddenly shouted. Damn it! The inner demons also roared. The two entered the Black Tortoise world and saw the demon ancestor standing above the Devil's Land, holding an unconscious woman in his hand. The woman was the mermaid princess. Below, Zhao Tailai's trio, the Blood Kirin, and the Golden Divine Leopard stood together, all anxious. Qin Feiyong shouted, "Let her go! Let her go?" Haha, the demon ancestor laughed as he held onto the mermaid princess tightly. The inner demons didn't dare to act rashly, because killing the mermaid princess was equivalent to killing Qin Feiyong. Isn't it very powerful? Come and kill me if you can. However, your growth has truly exceeded this exalted's expectations. The fiend ancestor snickered. Qin Feiyong said solemnly, as a heaven-defying divine artifact that possesses the power of laws, you actually use such a despicable method. Do you feel ashamed? Trying to provoke me? You're too naive. Your so-called slaughter domain is indeed very frightening. Unfortunately, you all have not grasped the power of the laws. That is to say, if you die here, everyone can't be resurrected. Don't think that I'm joking, you know my character. The inner demon snorted coldly. Qin Feiyong's gaze trembled. He could doubt anyone's words, except for the inner demons. If he said it, then he must be able to do it. I can't die. For mother, for grandpa, for those companions and friends who died for me, I absolutely can't die here. Qin Feiyong roared in his heart, and a strong desire to live emerged in his heart. But it was useless. The cracks on his body had already spread to his entire body. His body was on the verge of falling apart. Even his divine soul was cracking. What should I do? Qin Feiyong was desperate. His consciousness was gradually swallowed up. Finally, he closed his eyes unwillingly, and his consciousness fell into a deep darkness. Swish! But at this moment, beams of lights flashed out from Qin Feiyong's body. The inner demons, Zhao Tailai, and the rest were bewildered. What appeared from Qin Feiyong's body was the tens of thousands of cedars. Young man, we can feel your desire to live. Suddenly, a faintly discernible voice came from one of the cedars. This is... The inner demon's eyes widened. These cedars had indeed given birth to tree spirits. Your care and concern for your family, your care and concern for your companions, your compassion for the common people in the world, all of this makes us admire you very much. There are not many young people like you in the world, and you are worthy of our protection. Now we will merge with you, and we hope that you can lead everyone to create a truly peaceful world. Before his voice died away, tens of thousands of cedars shattered in an instant, turning into sparkling and translucent light spots, and surged into Qin Feiyong's limbs and bones. Bang! A majestic life force suddenly exploded in Qin Feiyong's body. His broken body was immediately repaired at a speed visible to the naked eye. The cedars, Zhao Tailai and the others looked at this scene, and they were all extremely bewildered. They sacrificed themselves so that this esteemed one could be reborn. The inner demons endured the sadness in his heart, and with a plop, knelt in the void and murmured thank you. They sacrificed themselves so that the young master could be reborn. Zhao Tailai and the others murmured, and also knelt in the void one after another, bowing deeply. Soon, the cracks on Qin Feiyong's body were healed one by one. The life force of the cedars was also gradually exhausted. After a while, Qin Feiyong finally opened his eyes slowly, looking at the inner demons, Zhao Tailai, and the others kneeling in the void, and said in confusion, "Why am I not dead? Why are you kneeling in the void? Don't you know?" The inner demons got up, looked at Qin Feiyong and asked, "What do I know?" Qin Feiyong was suspicious. The inner demons said, "It's the cedars, they saved you." The cedars? Qin Feiyong was taken aback, and hurriedly sank his mind into his body, but searching his entire body, he did not find a single cedar. Don't look for it, because they shattered their original bodies and merged with your body. The inner demons sighed. What? Qin Feiyong's body trembled. The inner demons said, before shattering their original bodies, they said one sentence, asking you to create a truly peaceful world. Qin Feiyong raised his two arms, looked at his hands, and his eyes were filled with tears. He remembered yesterday, when the inner demons were going through their tribulation. He said to the Cedars that after this battle was over, he would return them their freedom. But he did not expect at this moment, in order to save him, they all sacrificed themselves. Young master. Zhao Tailai and the others wanted to comfort him, but they did not know where to start. It was rare for the inner demons to not disturb Qin Feiyong, because in his heart, there was also a deep sense of gratitude towards the Cedars. Phew! A moment passed. Qin Feiyong took a deep breath, knelt in the void, kowtowed 3 times and 9 times and murmured, "I promise you, no matter how much I have to pay, no matter how difficult the road ahead is, I will definitely create a truly peaceful world." After saying that, he stood up, wiped the tears from the corners of his eyes, and turned his head to look at the inner demons. The two nodded at the same time, put away the mermaid princess's body, and appeared in the sky above the sea outside with Zhao Tailai and the others. Lord Demon Ancestor. A murmur entered their ears. Everyone looked in the direction of the voice, and saw Sima Kuan lying in the void, like a helpless child, crying bitterly. The demon ancestor had left, and the eye of despair had lost its effect. Therefore, he had already woken up. Qin Feiyong, inner demons, sensing the aura of Qin Feiyong and the others, his gaze trembled slightly, and he hurriedly raised his head to look at Qin Feiyong and the inner demons, asking, "Where is Lord Demon Ancestor? Did you see him?" "They have already gone to the Forgotten Continent," Qin Feiyong said. "Forgotten Continent," Sima Kuan muttered, and then crawled in front of Qin Feiyong and begged, "I also want to go to the Forgotten Continent, please help me." "You saw it with your own eyes. The demon ancestor's consciousness has already been erased by the snowflakes. Even if you chase after him to the Forgotten Continent, it will be useless," Qin Feiyong said. "It can't be. Lord Demon Ancestor must still be alive, I believe." Sima Kuan shook his head and roared. Chapter 1863. Sigh. Qin Feiyong sighed deeply. It could be seen that Sima Kuan and Sima Yuan's feelings for the demon ancestor were indeed very deep. In their eyes, the demon ancestor might really be like a father. However, people must die. Qin Feiyong raised his arm, and a stream of divine power gushed out from his fingertips, entering between Sima Kuan's eyebrows, shattering his soul on the spot. A bloody hole also appeared. Then, Sima Kuan fell down and was swallowed by the surging seawater, and the Wind Moon Pavilion floated in the air, its divine light dim. This supreme-grade divine artifact is not bad. The inner demons laughed coldly and grabbed the Wind Moon Pavilion. Facing Qin Feiyong and the inner demons, the Wind Moon Pavilion's artifact spirit did not dare to resist at all. The inner demons turned to look at Qin Feiyong and asked, "How are we going to go to the Forgotten Continent next?" In this battle everyone had died. The only ones left were Qin Feiyong, the inner demons, Zhao Tailai, Tang Hai, Cui Li, the Golden Leopard, and the Blood Kirin. It could be said that their losses were heavy, but the culprit Snowflake was still at large. If they did not get rid of it, they would not be satisfied. Qin Feiyong said, "The people of the Black Tortoise realm were all killed by you, right?" "However, I kept a part of their blood," the inner demons said. "Snowflake." Qin Feiyong clenched his fists and said fiercely, "Return to the capital immediately and think of a way to enter the Forgotten Continent." The inner demons said, "We still have to be fast. After all, the slaughter domain can only last for an hour." Qin Feiyong nodded. Swish. But at this moment, a man and a beast suddenly appeared in the void in front of Qin Feiyong and the others. Who? Killing intent surged in the eyes of Qin Feiyong and the others. But when they saw the man and beast clearly, they were stunned. It was actually Uncle Yuan and the Snow Python. Qin Feiyong asked excitedly, "Uncle Yuan, why are you here?" "He is Qin Yuan." Zhao Tailai, Tang Hai, Cui Li, and the Golden Leopard mumbled. Qin Yuan glanced at everyone. He looked at Qin Feiyong and the inner demons and smiled. "I've been paying attention to you guys." Qin Feiyong and the inner demons looked at each other. It was just as they had expected. Qin Yuan said, "I know you have a lot of questions in your hearts, but time is of the essence. You must hurry to the Forgotten Continent." Qin Feiyong said, We're trying to think of a way to get there. What ideas do you have? Qin Yuan asked curiously. The two of them fell silent. I knew that you couldn't do anything about it. Qin Yuan shook his head and smiled. He turned to look at the snow python and said, if you agree to bet, you must accept your loss. Take it out. Qin Feiyang and the other man were stunned. They looked at the snow python suspiciously. Humph. The snow python snorted coldly. Divine light flashed in front of it, and an ancient stone door appeared. This is. Qin Feiyang and the other man looked at the stone door. They were stunned for a moment, and then their faces were filled with ecstasy. This stone door was the real space-time gate. Take it. They are all in the glacier forest. Go and end it all. Qin Yuan looked at Qin Feiyang and the other man and smiled. Thank you, Uncle Yuan. The two of them said gratefully. They immediately dripped their blood on it and activated the space-time gate. The Blood Kirin, the Golden Leopard, and Tang Hai also activated their divine power and poured it into the space-time gate. Clang! Soon, the space-time gate opened. Qin Feiyang turned to look at Qin Yuan and asked, Uncle Yuan, where can I find you in the future? Qin Yuan smiled and said, when everything is over, I will naturally appear in front of you. Qin Feiyang looked at Qin Yuan deeply. Then he led the inner demons Zhao Tailai and the others into the space-time gate without looking back. Looking at the space-time gate that was gradually disappearing, the snow python said angrily, you old thing, you are really cunning. Why do you say that? Qin Yuan looked at her, puzzled. Still pretending. Do you dare say that you did not make a bet with me to give the space-time gate to Qin Feiyang? The snow python said angrily. This is not cunning. This is a strategy. Qin Yuan chuckled. Glacier forest. Above the ice lake. At this moment, there were more than 1,000 people gathered together. The leader was a middle-aged man. He was about 1.8 meters tall. His facial features were sharp and his body was quite thin. He wore a golden robe and his body was full of a king's domineering aura. That's right. He was Mu Tianyang's younger brother, Mu Tianjun. Behind Mu Tianjun there were two old men. They exuded a very powerful aura. They were Mu Changfeng and Mu Changyun. The rest of the people were from the Black Tortoise World's Celestial Emperor Empire. Lord Wu Shenhe was the leader. Lord Wu Shenhe was a fake god. The others were all 9-star combat emperors at the peak realm. This force was enough to sweep the Forgotten Continent. But at this moment, this group of people was nervous, including Mu Tianjun. They all looked at the void opposite them. There were two figures in the void opposite them. It was Demon Ancestor and Lin Yi. Snowflake's body was also on the side. Demon Dragon had also awakened, and his injuries were rapidly recovering. Demon Pagoda was also suspended above Demon Ancestor's head. Mu Tianjun glanced at Lin Yi, Demon Ancestor, Snowflake, Demon Dragon and Demon Pagoda, and said in a deep voice, I really can't believe that such a powerful lineup would be defeated by Qin Feiyang. I'm really not in the mood to talk nonsense with you now. Take me to see your big brother Mu Tianyang immediately. Demon Ancestor frowned. How do I know if this is your trick? Mu Tianjun snorted coldly. Not to mention Demon Ancestor's subordinates, just Demon Ancestor and Snowflake were not people that Qin Feiyang could defeat. So he suspected Qin Feiyang might have been killed, and Demon Ancestor and others came here to eradicate them. Bastard! Do you know what the situation is now? Can't you see that my body has been split in half? Qin Feiyang's strength is not as simple as you think. Now, only by joining forces with your big brother's Bloodblade can we get rid of him. Demon Ancestor said angrily. You are not Demon Ancestor. Mu Tianjun was surprised. Yes, Demon Ancestor. That trash's consciousness has been erased by me. Now I am Demon Ancestor. Snowflake's weapon spirit said. You actually erased Demon Ancestor's consciousness. Mu Tianjun was in disbelief and looked at Snowflake's body again. Could all this be true? At the same time, Lin Yi raised her brows, turned to look at Demon Ancestor and said, You are not my master? Yes. Your master has become a thing of the past. Now I am your master. Demon Ancestor grinned. Damn you. Lin Yi's eyes surged with murderous intent. You? Demon Ancestor's face was full of disdain. His divine aura rolled out, immediately imprisoning Lin Yi in the void. I don't have time to deal with you now. You'd better be honest, otherwise I will kill you too. Demon Ancestor laughed, looked at Mu Tianjun and shouted, Don't test my patience again. Mu Tianjun's pupils contracted. Second uncle, please think twice. Father still needs some time to condense his divine soul. If this snowflake has ulterior motives, I'm afraid. Mu Changfeng and Mu Changyun transmitted their voices worriedly. Clang! But before the two finished speaking, a deafening noise suddenly sounded in the sky. What's the situation? The group of people raised their heads and looked up in bewilderment. The void above them was twisting crazily. A terrifying divine aura rolled in all directions. This aura. Mu Changyun and Mu Changfeng's eyes trembled. Yes, it's the space-time gate. Mu Tianjun said. What? The space-time gate? Could it be the snow python? Everyone was surprised. After a few breaths, a huge stone gate suddenly appeared in the sky. If it's not the space-time gate, what is it? Could it be the snow python? Everyone murmured. The next moment, a terrifying murderous aura roared out from the space-time gate. The sky above the glacier forest immediately collapsed crazily. Even the ground trembled, constantly cracking, and ravines appeared everywhere. This murderous aura, it's Qin Feiyang's inner demons. Demon Ancestor roared. Inner demons. Mu Tianjuan's eyes trembled. Why is there such a terrifying murderous aura? Even he couldn't help but feel despair. And the space-time gate. Wasn't it said that the space-time gate was in the hands of the snow python? Why would it fall into the hands of Qin Feiyang's inner demons? Swish. Suddenly, a blood-colored figure stepped out from the space-time gate and appeared in front of the group of people. It was the inner demons. The murderous aura enveloped all directions, and the blood-colored sword in his hand exuded an apocalyptic sharpness. Damn it! Why is the space-time gate in your hands? Demon Ancestor roared in disbelief. Humph! The inner demon snorted coldly, raised the blood-colored sword, and slashed in the air. Pieces of blood-red sword aura, like a tsunami in the ocean, rushed toward the group of people overwhelmingly. Second uncle, go to the space divine item. Mu Changfeng roared. Mu Tianjun said in a deep voice, the space divine item can't stop it. Run! The group of people suddenly scattered and fled for their lives. Run! The inner demons sneered. The blood-red sword aura swept across the sky and drowned Mu Changyun and the others in an instant. Ah! Immediately, a series of screams resounded through the sky. The group of peak 9-star combat emperors and Marquis Wushan had no power to resist and were shattered by the sword aura on the spot. Mu Changyun and Mu Changfeng only lasted for 2 breaths before they were torn into pieces by the sword aura. Blood splashed across the sky. Finally, only Mu Tianjun, Snowflake, Demon Ancestor, Demon Dragon, Demon Pagoda, and Lin Yi escaped. Of course, this was with the help of Snowflake, otherwise they would have died. A debt of blood must be repaid with blood. Suddenly, a cold voice sounded. This voice, it's not the inner demons. It's Qin Feiyang. Demon Ancestor looked up and saw that there were 4 people and 2 beasts beside the inner demons. It was Qin Feiyang, Zhao Tailai, and the 2 beasts, Blood Kirin. Why aren't you dead? Demon Ancestor's body trembled and looked at Qin Feiyang in surprise. Are you disappointed that I'm not dead? Qin Feiyang said. Impossible. There is no way to break the concentric knot. Could it be that the mermaid princess is not dead? Demon Ancestor was surprised. Qin Feiyang said, thanks to you she is dead. Then why aren't you dead? Demon Ancestor said angrily. Qin Feiyang went silent, and there was a wisp of sorrow in his eyes that couldn't be dispersed as he suddenly shouted. Inner demon, kill them. The inner demons used the walk formula and instantly landed beside Lin Yi. He smashed Lin Yi's head with one palm. Immediately, with a wave of his hand, he sent Lin Yi's body to the Black Tortoise world and slashed at Demon Ancestor. Voila! Snowflake, who was cut in half, released a terrifying cold current. This world was instantly frozen. Nothing can stop my determination to kill all of you. Shatter! The inner demons roared to the sky. The blood-colored long sword shone brightly, and the ice that froze the world was instantly annihilated. Following that, The blood-colored long sword turned and slashed at Snowflake's body like lightning. Genius remembered this site's address in a second. Mobile version of reading website, M. Chapter 1864. Clang. Accompanied by a loud noise, dazzling flames burst out of the void. The snowflake that had already been split in half was once again split into 4 halves. Damn it, damn it. In this way I can no longer activate the power of law. The demon ancestor roared. If you can't activate the power of law, then die. The inner demon smiled sinisterly, like a death god, and charged towards the 4 halves of the snowflake. As long as the snowflake's body was completely shattered, the weapon spirit of the snowflake could be destroyed. How can it be so powerful? Looking at this scene, Mu Tianyang's body trembled, and his face was pale. Before, he didn't believe it. Because the snowflake was a heaven-defying artifact with the power of law. No matter how strong Qin Feiyang was, it was impossible to threaten the snowflake. However, he didn't expect it to be true. The weapon spirit controlling the demon ancestor looked at the unstoppable inner demons and felt unprecedented despair. He roared, Mu Tianyang, why don't you come out? Mu Tianjun was also desperate to the extreme. Swish. Before his voice faded, a golden figure suddenly appeared beside Mu Tianjun. This person wore a golden crown and a golden dragon robe. His long hair fluttered in the void, like an emperor descending to the world. The emperor's power was awe-inspiring. Big brother, seeing this person appear, Mu Tianjun's face was filled with joy. That's right. This person was Mu Tianyang. At this time his face was clearly visible. Like the demon ancestor, it was also the face of a young man. The bridge of his nose was high. His golden eyes seemed to be cast from gold leaf. His 2 thick black eyebrows were like 2 sharp arrows, revealing a shocking sharpness. Mu Tianyang looked at Mu Tianjun and said with a smile, fortunately, there are enough spirit congealing pills to allow me to quickly condense the divine soul. Otherwise now we can only be beaten. Mu Tianjun was extremely excited. High in the sky, Qin Feiyang held the space-time gate in his hand and stared at Mu Tianyang, saying, so this is your true appearance. Just like the demon ancestor, shameless. That's right. They're all antiques that have lived for tens of thousands of years, yet they still look so young. Chui Li and Zhao Tailai scoffed. Appearance isn't important. What's important is strength. Mu Tianyang's lips curled into a smile. So you're saying that you have the strength to fight me? The inner demons sneered at Mu Tianyang as they attacked Snowflake's body. The inner demons are the embodiment of evil. Even if you've changed now, you can't escape the control of the evil eye. Evil eye activate. Mu Tianyang opened his mouth as a blood tide instantly gushed out from his golden eyes. In the meantime, a shocking evil aura spread across the place. The inner demons immediately froze in the void, an incomparably ferocious aura creeping up from between their brows. What happened? Zhao Tailai and the others were bewildered. I have a bad feeling about this. The aura of the inner demons is very similar to when they were first born. Qin Feiyang murmured. When they were first born. Zhao Tailai and the others were startled as they looked at Qin Feiyang. Yes. Back then, he wanted to kill me and replace me. And now he's exactly the same as he was back then. Qin Feiyang said. How could this be? The inner demons have changed a long time ago. It's impossible for them to return to the past for no reason. Could it be the evil eye? Zhao Tailai and the others looked at Mu Tianyang. Don't look at his eyes. Qin Feiyang's expression changed as he hurriedly shouted. However, it was too late. Zhao Tailai and the others had already met Mu Tianyang's eyes. Their bodies froze in the void for a moment. Immediately after, a monstrous aura surged out. The evil eye is this emperor's battle spirit. As long as one has evil thoughts, they will not be able to escape the control of the evil eye. And the evil eye, together with the demon ancestor's eye of despair and Mu Qing's eye of heaven, are the top 10 battle spirits. Mu Tianyang raised his head and looked at Qin Feiyang. Evil eye. Qin Feiyang murmured as he looked at Mu Tianyang's eyes tentatively. In the end, he discovered that it seemed to be useless against him. The evil eye is indeed useless against you, because all your evil thoughts are on the inner demons. Mu Tianyang said. The demon ancestor shouted. Mu Tianyang, quickly finish them off. Mu Tianyang glanced at the demon ancestor with a complicated expression as he muttered, "This emperor has thought of many possibilities, but I never thought that your consciousness would be erased by the snowflakes. However, you deserve to die. Not only you, Qin Batian and Lu Zhengyang also deserve to die." Then, Mu Tianyang turned his head, stared at the inner demons and shouted, "Go, kill your original body, and you will be the only Qin Feiyang." Mu Tianyang looked at Zhao Tailai and the others and said, "And you guys, as long as you kill Qin Feiyang, you will be free." Swoosh! The inner demons, the Blood Kirin, the Golden Leopard, and Zhao Tailai all stared at Qin Feiyang in an instant. That ferocious gaze, that terrifying murderous aura. It was as if they had a blood feud with Qin Feiyang. Mu Tianyang looked at Qin Feiyang and said, "Qin Feiyang, what are you going to do now?" The demon ancestor reminded him, "Don't be careless. He has also opened the Eye of Heaven." What? Mu Tianyang was stunned as he looked at the demon ancestor and said, "Are you talking about the second Eye of Heaven?" "That's right." The demon ancestor nodded. "This is unbelievable," Mu Tianyang muttered. He looked up at Qin Feiyang and said, "I didn't expect you to hide it so well." Qin Feiyang said, "I didn't expect you to open this kind of battle soul either." Haha, so what if you open the Eye of Heaven? The Eye of Heaven can indeed copy all attacks, including this emperor's evil eye. But even if you copy the evil eye, you won't be able to awaken the inner demons. Unless the Eye of Nothingness makes all battle souls useless. It's a pity that Lu Jiajin, who opened the Eye of Nothingness, is not by your side right now. Mu Tianyang said, "It's true that duplicating the evil eye now won't be of any use, but, speaking of which," Qin Feiyang looked at Zhao Tailai and the other two and the Blood Kirin. He then lowered his head to look at the inner demons, and a smile appeared in his eyes. "But what?" Mu Tianyang raised his eyebrows. Qin Feiyang said, "Didn't you notice that the inner demons haven't moved?" Mu Tianyang looked at the inner demons, then at Zhao Tailai and the others. He frowned. Although the inner demons and Zhao Tailai were staring at Qin Feiyang, they did not attack Qin Feiyang. "They are struggling," the demon ancestor shouted. "How is that possible? It's understandable that Zhao Tailai and the others are struggling, but the inner demons are the embodiment of evil. They are the source of evil. How can they escape the control of the evil eye?" Mu Tianyang muttered. He looked up at Qin Feiyang and shouted, "Why is that?" "Why?" Qin Feiyang muttered. His eyes suddenly became sharp and said, "Okay, I'll tell you why. Because we rely on each other and trust each other. We treat each other as real partners, real friends and even family. Nothing can cut off the bond between us. Do you understand now? Inner demons, Old Zhao, Old Tang, Chui Li, Blood Kirin, Junior Leopard, wake up!" Qin Feiyang roared. His voice was like a bell, echoing in the minds of the inner demons and the others. Boom! Immediately, the inner demons, Zhao Tailai, and the others trembled and suddenly woke up. My evil eye actually failed? No, this must be a dream. Mu Tianyang shook his head. His face was full of disbelief. Then you can continue to dream in hell. The inner demons was furious. He raised his blood-red sword and slashed at Mu Tianyang with murderous intent. "Brother, watch out!" Mu Tianjun roared. He quickly stepped forward and pushed Mu Tianyang away. Just as Mu Tianjun pushed Mu Tianyang away, the blood-red sword came. The terrifying sword Qi drowned Mu Tianjun. With a shrill scream, Mu Tianjun's physical body was shattered on the spot. His spirit was also drowned in an instant. Second brother. Mu Tianyang came back to his senses and turned his head to look at this scene. He suddenly gritted his teeth and roared hysterically. So pitiful. He just came back to life and he's going to die again. The inner demons sneered. The blood-red sword swung, and Mu Tianyang's shattered body was immediately obliterated by the sword Qi. Not even a strand of hair was left. Second brother. Mu Tianyang was paralyzed in the void. Last time Mu Tianjun died, but with the divine body he could be resurrected. But this time not even a trace of his soul was left. He was completely dead, and there was no possibility of resurrection. I'm not as merciful as my ancestor. As long as it's an enemy, I will kill them all. Mu Tianjun is just one of them. It's your turn next. The inner demons raised the blood-red sword and pointed the blade at Mu Tianyang and Snowflake. Their eyes were filled with a dazzling blood-red light. Terrifying. How terrifying. On a nearby mountain peak, a young man in black looked at the inner demons on the battlefield with a face full of shock. This person was Dong Zhongyang. Behind a dense bush behind Dong Zhongyang, a man and a beast were lurking. It was Tan Wu and the infernal divine hound. The man and the beast both restrained their auras to the extreme and stared at Dong Zhongyang like two ghosts. That's right. They had been following Dong Zhongyang since they came out of the divine sight. The infernal divine hound said, "Little scum, what do you think this guy wants to do? I can't see through him at all." Tan Wu shook his head and said, "Why don't we go out and kill him while his attention is on Qin Feiyang?" The infernal divine hound asked. Tan Wu hurriedly said, "Don't be impulsive. We still don't know whether he is an enemy or a friend. I say, how long are you going to follow him?" Suddenly, Dong Zhongyang's voice rang out. Tan Wu and the infernal divine hound were shocked. Had they been discovered? The infernal divine hound's eyes suddenly flashed with a fierce light. Since they had been discovered, they might as well go all the way. Don't move. He may have just felt that someone was following him and didn't realize that it was us, Tan Wu said secretly. However, before his voice fell, Dong Zhongyang suddenly turned his head and looked at them. Two divine lights flashed out of his dark eyes. The bush in front of Tan Wu and the infernal divine hound was immediately shattered. Tan Wu and the infernal divine hound immediately dodged, avoiding the bombardment of the two divine lights. Tan Wu looked at the two divine lights that flashed into the distance and patted his chest with lingering fear. He got up and looked at Dong Zhongyang and said with a smile, "Brother Dong, this is a misunderstanding. Don't fight and hurt our friendship." Misunderstanding? Dong Zhongyang waved his hand and the two divine lights dissipated. Then, he looked at the man and the beast expressionlessly. Please remember the domain name of this book. The mobile version of the Literature Library reading website. He originally thought that when his younger brother Mu Tianjun was resurrected, the two of them would work together to create glory again. However, he didn't expect that everything would end before it even started. Heavenly Monarch, I'm sorry. 10,000 years ago, I didn't protect you well. 10,000 years later, I watched you die in front of me. I'm really useless. I don't deserve to be your big brother at all. Mu Tianyang shook his head, tears dripping down his face. He blamed himself. As a heartless monarch, how could he shed tears? This scene surprised Qin Feiyang and the inner demons. It could also be seen that Mu Tianyang really cared about his younger brother. However, a pitiful person must have something to hate. If Mu Tianyang wasn't eliminated, the world wouldn't be at peace. Go and reunite with Mu Tianjun. The inner demon's murderous aura surged into the sky as he took a step toward Mu Tianyang. Damn it, it's you. Bloodblade, help me kill him. Mu Tianyang roared, his anger soaring to the heavens. Clang! With a flash of blood-red light, the Bloodblade appeared. The power of law immediately rushed toward the inner demons. The power of law of the Bloodblade was time reversal. Back in the ancient world, Qin Feiyang had already seen it, and it was extremely terrifying. However, although the blood-red sword didn't have the power of law, its power had already surpassed the Bloodblade. As long as the Bloodblade was destroyed, the power of law would be broken. Time reversal? But do you know? How much did we pay in order to open the slaughter zone? If we lose here, how can we face those dead souls? The inner demons roared into the sky. The blood-red sword cut through the sky and stood on the Bloodblade. With a loud clang, the Bloodblade was cut in half on the spot. The power of law became much weaker in an instant. Mu Tianyang's body and mind trembled. You must die. Not for anything else but for the countless lives I killed with my own hands. The inner demon swung his sword again. Sword chi flooded the sky, accompanied by sparks. The broken blood blade immediately shattered into pieces. Why is he so powerful? Mu Tianyang looked at the inner demons and the blood-red sword in a daze. His face was full of fear. Even the Bloodblade and Snowflake couldn't block the sharpness of the blood-red sword. What level of divine weapon was it? He still didn't know that this blood-red sword was formed by the kill formula. He also didn't know that the slaughter zone had killed all the creatures in the Black Tortoise world. Although the slaughter zone was heaven-defying, the price to pay was too heavy and too bloody. If it weren't for the fact that they had no choice, Qin Feiyang and the inner demons wouldn't have used this ultimate killing move. At this moment, whether it was Mu Tianyang and the Bloodblade, Snowflake, Emo Pagoda, or Emo Long, they all fell into deep despair. But compared to Snowflake, Emo Long, and Emo Pagoda, Mu Tianyang's heart was more aggrieved. No matter what, Emo Long and the others had fought with Qin Feiyang for a night in the Sea of Reincarnation. And him? He had just merged with the divine body and returned to his peak state. He didn't even have time to properly experience the feeling of returning to his peak strength before he fell into a desperate situation. He couldn't accept it, but facing the inner demons at this moment, he really didn't have the courage to fight. Too strong. It was far beyond the range of what he could bear. The inner demons looked at Mu Tianyang, Snowflake, Bloodblade, Emo Long, and Emo Pagoda and said, "Your era has come to an end. In the future, no one will remember that you still exist." Clang! The inner demons waved the sword and rushed toward Mu Tianyang and the others with murderous intent. At this moment, Dong Zhengyang, who was standing on the mountain peak, whispered, "Seal of Destiny, open." As his voice fell, the ground below Qin Feiyang and the others suddenly trembled violently. What's going on? Everyone was surprised. Before they could react, streaks of blood-red light emerged from the ground like a volcanic eruption. Following closely, on the ground directly below Qin Feiyang, Mu Tianyang, and the demon ancestor, 3 blood-red pentagrams suddenly appeared. The pentagrams shone with blood-red light, like 3 pillars of light, rushed into the sky and shrouded Qin Feiyang and the other 2. What is this? Qin Feiyang and the other 2 were surprised. Why would 3 pentagrams suddenly appear on the ground below? What was even stranger was that these pentagrams didn't have the slightest sense of danger. Even inside the blood-red light, there was an indescribable warmth. In the blink of an eye, before they could react, a pentagram's mark appeared between their eyebrows. After the mark appeared, the blood-red light quickly dissipated. The pentagrams on the ground below also disappeared. Deity between your eyebrows? The inner demons paused and raised his head to look at the mark between Qin Feiyang's eyebrows in surprise. Between my eyebrows? Qin Feiyang was stunned and quickly waved his hand. The void in front of him shook and became transparent like a mirror. What's going on? Looking at the mark between his eyebrows, Qin Feiyang's expression suddenly froze. Following that, he looked at Mu Tianyang and the demon ancestor again and found that the mark between their eyebrows was exactly the same as the mark between his eyebrows. This is the seal of destiny. Suddenly, a calm voice sounded. This voice, Qin Feiyang quickly raised his head and saw the distant void. A young man in black was walking towards them step by step. Dong Zhengyang. The inner demons also frowned. They were originally wondering where this person was. They didn't expect him to be hiding nearby. Seal of Destiny, at the same time, above a mountain. Qin Yuan raised his head and looked at Dong Zhengyang in the void image in front of him with a thoughtful look. On the other hand, the snow python at the side looked a little excited. Suddenly, Qin Yuan seemed to have thought of something and his gaze trembled slightly. He turned to look at the snow python and asked in surprise, "Why does Dong Zhengyang have the seal of destiny? Don't you already have the answer in your heart?" The snow python sneered. "Impossible. Back then, we all saw him die in front of us with our own eyes. This Dong Zhengyang, could it be his successor?" Qin Yuan said. "Passed in? Dong Zhengyang is him. He didn't die at all." The snow python said. Qin Yuan said in shock, "You mean he took over Dong Zhengyang's body?" "That's right. Back then, he saw his destiny and knew that he couldn't escape. So he split a wisp of his soul in advance and went to the spiritual state to enter the body of a young man. This young man is Dong Zhengyang." The snow python said. "I see." Qin Yuan suddenly understood and said, "Then why didn't he go anywhere else but to the spiritual state?" The snow python said, "Because he saw the future in the spiritual state." "What future?" Qin Yuan frowned. About this, the snow python pondered for a moment and said, "I think it's better to wait for him to tell you personally." Qin Yuan raised his eyebrows and looked up at Dong Zhengyang, his face full of suspicion. The seal of destiny? Above the glacier forest, Dong Jungyang was standing in the void opposite Qin Feiyang and the others. Even in the face of the inner demons, he was not moved at all. And Mu Tianyang was no stranger to Dong Jungyang. As for Snowflake, although the demon ancestor's consciousness had been erased by it, it had obtained all of the demon ancestor's memories, so it knew a little about Dong Jungyang. Dong Jungyang glanced at Mu Tianyang and the others, then looked at Qin Feiyang and said with a smile, "Brother Qin, before leaving the miracle, I specially reminded you to be careful of me. Why didn't you remember? You let me get away with it so easily." Qin Feiyang's pupils contracted. The aura that Dong Jungyang exuded at this moment was not that of a false god, but of a war god. The inner demons waved its long sword and looked at Dong Jungyang with murderous intent, asking, "What is the seal of destiny you mentioned just now?" "Because I've made too many mistakes in my life. Only death can atone for your sins." After saying that, the demonic ancestor lowered his head again. His face was filled with pain. "Idiot!" Snowflake snorted coldly, as if she had expected better from him. "Yes, I am an idiot. If I could have woken up earlier, how could I have done so many heinous things?" The demon ancestor muttered. He raised his head and looked at Dong Jungyang. "Why did you save me?" Dong Jungyang said, "Because you can't die yet." "Reason?" The demon ancestor said, "I need your strength." After Dong Jungyang finished speaking, he looked at Qin Feiyang and Mu Tianyang. "I also need your strength." "What do you mean?" Qin Feiyang frowned. "You will understand in the future. In short, none of you can die now. In other words, although I used the seal of destiny to control you, I will not take your lives." Dong Jungyang said, "What kind of joke is this? How can our fate be controlled by you?" The inner demons roared and slashed at Dong Jungyang. "The seal of destiny can not only control the fate of others, but also tie their lives to mine. In other words, if you kill me, not only the demon ancestor and Mu Tianyang, but your original body will also die with me." Dong Jungyang looked at the inner demons fearlessly. "What?" The inner demons trembled. "Young master, what should we do now?" Zhao Tailai and the others looked at Qin Feiyang in a daze. Qin Feiyang stared at Dong Jungyang in silence. The inner demon suddenly laughed and said, "Since I can't kill you, then I will kill the demon ancestor and Mu Tianyang. You can't kill them either. Our fates are already connected. No matter who you kill, your original body will die." Dong Jungyang said, "Why did it become like this?" The inner demons trembled and gripped the blood-colored sword tightly. If he didn't kill the demon ancestor and Mu Tianyang, then wouldn't Fatso, Gongsun Yanwei, Shuesong, his mother, and the creatures of the Black Tortoise world have sacrificed in vain? No, this kind of thing was absolutely not allowed. What seal of destiny? I don't care. Since you dare to stand in front of me, then I dare to kill you. The inner demons roared and charged at Dong Jungyang crazily. What a crazy inner demons! Dong Jungyang muttered. But he didn't dodge, nor did he counterattack. The inner demons attacked. Without any hesitation, he slashed at Dong Jungyang. Dong Jungyang's body was cut in half by the blood-colored sword on the spot. However, the inner demons froze in the void. Dong Jungyang's split body didn't have any flesh or blood. "It's an energy body," Zhao Tailai shouted. "Bastard! It's actually just a clone." The inner demons were furious as they scanned the surrounding void. Dong Jungyang's original body must be hiding somewhere nearby. Sigh. The demon ancestor let out a long sigh, took a step forward, and landed in front of the inner demons. He smiled and said, "Kill me." He said that our fates are already connected. As long as you kill me, no matter where he hides, he will die. "Do you think I don't dare?" The inner demon said angrily. Without any hesitation, he raised his hand and slashed with his sword. Mu Tianyang looked at Qin Feiyang and said anxiously, "Hurry up and stop the inner demons." He had just recovered his strength and didn't want to die. And now the only person who could stop the inner demons was Qin Feiyang. Qin Feiyang glanced at the inner demons, then looked at Mu Tianyang and said, "A dignified emperor is also so afraid of death." "You're not afraid?" Mu Tianyang said angrily. Qin Feiyang was silent. Frankly speaking, he was very afraid. because once he died, no one would be able to revive everyone. The inner demons suddenly said, "This sovereign, I will revive them." Qin Feiyong immediately looked at the inner demons. The inner demons turned his head and smiled at Qin Feiyong, saying, "After all, everyone is my companions, my family. How can I abandon them? Similarly, I won't abandon you." "Thank you," Qin Feiyong murmured and said with a smile, "If that's the case, then I have no worries at all. Just do it." The inner demons nodded, turned to look at the demon ancestor, and shouted, "Die. I miscalculated. I should have controlled the inner demons as well." On a distant mountain peak, Dong Jingyang looked at the inner demons and muttered to himself. There was a trace of anger between his brows. That's right. Previously he was indeed just a clone. He also thought that as long as he controlled Qin Feiyong, it was equivalent to controlling the inner demons. But he didn't expect the inner demons to be so crazy and not care about Qin Feiyong's life at all. A good game of chess was completely disrupted just like that. Sigh. Perhaps the time isn't right yet. Dong Zhongyang sighed. With a thought, the marks between Qin Feiyong, the demon ancestor, and Mu Tianyang's eyebrows immediately disappeared. Young master, quickly look at Mu Tianyang and the demon ancestor's eyebrows. Zhao Tailai's eyes suddenly widened. Qin Feiyong looked over, and his expression immediately froze. The seal of destiny had actually disappeared? Zhao Tailai turned to look at Qin Feiyong and said in surprise, "Young master, the seal of destiny on your forehead has also disappeared." Qin Feiyong touched his forehead and said, "It seems that this seal of destiny can indeed tie our lives together. Otherwise, Dong Jingyang wouldn't have removed the seal of destiny now. Speaking of which..." He raised his head and scanned the surrounding void and said, "Go find Dong Jingyang for me." Understood. The blood Qilin, the golden leopard, and Zhao Tailai immediately spread out and released their divine senses to search carefully. At the same time, the inner demons and Mu Tianyang also noticed the disappearance of the seal of destiny. The two of them were naturally overjoyed, because this way they wouldn't have to die with the demon ancestor. Of course, the inner demons wouldn't let the demon ancestor go either. The blood-colored longsword fell, and its sharp edge tore the sky and split the earth. The demon ancestor's divine body was torn apart on the spot. Blood splattered everywhere, and his divine soul was also shattered by the blood-colored long sword. Emodu was also shattered along with it, because before Emodu, Snowflake's weapon spirit had taken it into the demon ancestor's body, and in the face of such a terrifying sword, there was no suspense. The people in Emodu were all killed, and not a single strand of hair was left. Lord Demon Ancestor, seeing the death of the demon ancestor, the demon dragon immediately let out a hysterical roar and rushed towards the inner demons without caring about anything else. At the same time, Mu Tianyang also turned pale with fright and disappeared in an instant. Obviously, he had hidden in the space divine object. "Ant!" The inner demon smiled contemptuously and waved the blood-colored longsword in his hand. The demon dragon's blood immediately splattered across the sky. Immediately after, he turned around and looked at the place where Mu Tianyang had disappeared. His divine senses rolled out and immediately captured that Mu Tianyang was riding the space divine object and frantically fleeing. "Even if you can ascend to the heavens or dive into the earth, you won't be able to escape death today." The inner demon slashed out with his sword. A blood-colored light flashed across the sky like lightning and stood on the space divine object. Clang! The space divine object was shattered on the spot. 3 bloody figures appeared in a sorry state. It was Mu Tianyang, Mu Qing, and Shun Mei. As for the others in the space divine object, they had all been destroyed along with the space divine object. Not even their bones were left. As for Mu Qing and Shun Mei, they were saved under Mu Tianyang's best protection. At this moment, the two of them looked at the inner demons, and their eyes were filled with fear and despair. "Now who else can stop me from killing you?" The inner demons glanced at the 3 of them. Like a ruthless death god, he charged towards the 3 of them step by step. Mu Qing stood in front of Mu Tianyang and roared, "My lord, you go quickly. I'll hold him back. Go quickly." Shun Mei also stood in front of Mu Tianyang and shouted, "Just you two." The inner demon's face was full of disdain. With a flick of his fingers, Two strands of divine power shot out and entered Mu Qing and Shan Mei's glabella. Following the two screams, their heads exploded like watermelons. Mu Qing, Mei, bastard, I'll perish together with you. Mu Tianyong roared, and a destructive aura rushed out of his body. If you want to self-destruct, you have to get my permission. The inner demon's domineering aura was unparalleled. He waved his blood-colored sword again, and the blood-colored light flashed again. In an instant, he rushed in front of Mu Tianyong and entered his glabella. Boom! Mu Tianyong's head exploded, and his divine soul was annihilated. Chapter 1867. At the same time, seeing Demon Ancestor, Demon Dragon and Mu Tianyong being killed one after another, Snowflake, Bloodblade and Demon Pagoda all fell into an unparalleled panic. Let's not talk about Demon Pagoda first. Although Snowflake and Bloodblade were both heaven-defying artifacts, their bodies were now broken and could no longer activate the power of law. In other words, they were now fish on the chopping board. Shua! Inner demons turned around and swept towards them. Snowflake's artifact spirit hurriedly said, "Inner demons, let's talk nicely, don't do it. What were you doing earlier?" Inner demons smiled coldly and rushed in front of Snowflake. That terrifying murderous aura caused Snowflake to be extremely frightened. Don't. Look, Bloodblade and I are both heaven-defying artifacts. If we help you, even if you go to the ancient realm in the future, no one can hurt you. Snowflake said, "If I let you go, how can I face those sacrificed cedar? You'd better be destroyed." Killing intent surged in Inner Demon's eyes. Sword chi surged like a tide, drowning Snowflake, Demon Pagoda, and Bloodblade. Snowflake and Bloodblade were both heaven-defying artifacts. It was not an easy task to completely destroy them. However, it was only a matter of time. As for Demon Pagoda, it was much inferior. Although it was a legendary artifact, the blood-colored sword's current power far exceeded that of a legendary artifact. In the blink of an eye, Demon Pagoda had already been torn apart and turned into pieces. Inner demons, Qin Feiyang, you will die a horrible death. Even if we become ghosts, we will come to find you. Just you wait. But suddenly, three enraged and resentful roars could be heard. Qin Feiyang was stunned. Inner demons also looked at Demon Pagoda in shock. Of these three voices, two of them belonged to the Chief Pagoda Master and the State Preceptor. The other voice was somewhat unfamiliar. Following closely, three figures fell out from the broken Demon Pagoda. So they are all in Demon Pagoda. Looking at the three of them, Inner demons nodded in realization. That's right. The three of them were the Chief Tower Master, the Imperial Advisor, and Zhuge Shanfeng. As soon as the three of them appeared, they stared at the inner demons with resentful eyes. In just a moment, the three of them were torn to pieces by the sword energy and died on the spot. Ants will always be ants. The inner demons smiled coldly. Boom! However, at this moment, accompanied by a terrifying aura, the snow python appeared out of thin air without any warning. Its body was hundreds of meters long, and it raised its huge tail and slammed it towards the inner demons. What? The inner demon's expression changed. Isn't this bastard in the sea of reincarnation? Why is he here? It was a close call. With a thought, the blood-red armor appeared. Boom! The giant tail fell, and the inner demons were sent flying. Snow Python, are you done yet? Qin Feiyang bellowed. So what if it's not over? The snow python gave a contemptuous smile as its divine power surged out and pounced towards Qin Feiyang. Snow Python, you have broken the rules. At the same time, Qin Yuan also appeared out of thin air and stood in front of Qin Feiyang. He waved his old hand and a gust of divine power surged out. Boom! The two divine powers collided with each other. One must know, the snow python was an existence that surpassed the war god level. Since Qin Yuan dared to make a move, it meant that his cultivation was not weaker than the snow python's. The collision of the two guardians' divine powers was extremely terrifying. A destructive wave of air swept across the sky. The void was destroyed and the earth collapsed. Dust billowed and covered the sky. Snow Python, I won't forgive you. After the inner demon stabilized his body, he grabbed the blood-red sword and rushed into the dust, charging towards the snow python. The blood-red armor on his body was already shattered, and blood was dripping from his body. When the killing zone is over, I will let you know the consequences of angering me. The snow python glanced at the inner demons coldly, then swept up the demon tower, snow, and the fragments of the blood-red sword, and disappeared from the sight of the inner demons. Damn it! The inner demons roared and crazily waved the blood-red sword. The blood-red sword energy shattered the void and the earth. The corpses of the demon ancestor, Mo Long, and Mu Tianyang were all turned into ashes under the sword energy. High up in the sky, Qin Feiyang looked at Qin Yuan and exclaimed, "Uncle Yuan, why are you here?" Qin Yuan glanced at the crazy inner demons, then looked at Qin Feiyang and smiled. As guardians, the snow python and I can freely travel between the two continents. But just now, I was careless and didn't keep an eye on the snow python, allowing her to escape. So that's how it is. Qin Feiyang nodded in realization. Dong Zhengyang, so you were hiding here. At this moment, Zhao Tailai's shout sounded. Qin Feiyang hurriedly looked over and saw Zhao Tailai's aura erupting as he rushed towards a mountain peak. On the peak of the mountain, a young man in black stood against the wind. Who else could it be other than Dong Zhengyang? Dong Zhengyang die. When the inner demons heard Zhao Tailai's voice, they immediately rushed over with the blood-red sword. Tang Hai, the Blood Kirin, Chui Li, and the Golden Panther also immediately rushed over. On the peak of the mountain, Dong Zhengyang looked at the inner demons and Zhao Tailai without a trace of nervousness. Qin Feiyang, we will meet again. Finally. He looked at Qin Feiyang and said expressionlessly. Then he withdrew his gaze. Don't even think about escaping. Zhao Tailai shouted. Get lost. But suddenly, a cold shout sounded. The snow python appeared next to Dong Zhengyang out of thin air. Divine power gushed out as it pounced towards Zhao Tailai. Zhao Tailai's expression changed as he quickly turned around and fled. If you have guts, don't run. The inner demons roared angrily. The snow python snorted and immediately disappeared without a trace with Dong Zhengyang. Beast, beast. The inner demons was extremely angry as they scanned the void around them. Qin Yuan waved his hand and brought Qin Feiyang to the side of the inner demons. He smiled and said, don't look for her. She must have taken Dong Zhengyang and left the first area. She left the first area so quickly? The inner demons said. Qin Yuan smiled and said, after all, she is the guardian of the forgotten continent. No matter where she goes, she can just move her mind. Damn it. The inner demons punched the void, and a large part of the void was instantly shattered. The demon ancestor and Mu Tianyang are dead. Their subordinates were also annihilated along with the spatial divine item, so there is no need to chase after the snow python now. Moreover, killing the snow python will not benefit you at all. Instead, it will bring you a greater disaster. Qin Yuan said. What disaster? Qin Feiyang and the inner demons looked at each other and looked at Qin Yuan in shock. The reason why the snow python and I can become the guardians of the two continents is because of a terrifying existence. If you kill her, you will anger that existence, Qin Yuan said. Qin Feiyang said, who is this terrifying existence you are talking about? Qin Yuan said, I have never seen its face. I only know that it is a golden small beast. A golden small beast? Qin Feiyang and the inner demons looked at each other. Could it be that the golden small beast that Uncle Yuan was talking about was the same golden small beast that they had met in the miracle? Greetings, Elder Qin. At this time, Zhao Tailai, Tang Hai, Chui Li, the Blood Kirin, and the golden leopard flew over and bowed to Qin Yuan. No need to be so polite. This time, Feiyang was able to defeat the demon ancestor and Mu Tianyang because of your help. Thank you. Qin Yuan bowed. You can't do that. Zhao Tailai hurriedly waved his hand. Tang Hai, Chui Li, the golden leopard, and the Blood Kirin also looked terrified. This old man in front of them was the person that the young master respected the most. They couldn't accept this bow. Qin Yuan smiled and turned to look at Qin Feiyang and the inner demons. He said, you are very lucky to have such a group of reliable companions. The inner demons said proudly, isn't it because I taught them well? Zhao Tailai and the others heard this and immediately rolled their eyes. What? You have a problem? The inner demons looked at them with a frown. I wouldn't dare. The three people and two beasts shook their heads. What a joke. Even the snow python fled at the sight of them. One could imagine how terrifying the inner demons were now. Chapter 1868. And most importantly, it was the small beast that made Uncle Yuan a guardian. That means that the Great Qin and the Forgotten Continent are all under its control, just like the miracle. In other words, the two continents we live on were also created by that person called Wu Tian. The inner demon said in a deep voice, the miracle, the Great Qin, the Forgotten Continent, the six-word divine formula, the ancient castle Chang Shui. All of these are related to him. What kind of existence is this Wu Tian? Everyone frowned, unable to figure out what was going on. Qin Yuan smiled and said, a person of that level is not someone we can speculate about. Qin Feiyang nodded, looked up at Qin Yuan and said, Uncle Yuan, can you help me solve the doubts in my heart now? Qin Yuan said, the battle is not over yet. It's not over yet? Qin Feiyang and the others were stunned, looking at Qin Yuan suspiciously. The Merfolk clan. Qin Yuan reminded. Damn it. I actually forgot about them. The inner demon's eyes were filled with killing intent as they looked at the ice lake. The ice lake and the altar were nowhere to be found. Obviously, they had been destroyed in the previous battle. The inner demons retracted their gaze and looked at Qin Feiyang, saying, Main body, quickly open the gate of time and space. Let's go and kill them all. Qin Feiyang said helplessly, the Real Gate of time and space can only be opened once a day. Then what should we do? The inner demons were annoyed. Suddenly, he seemed to have thought of something, looked up at Qin Yuan and said with a smile, Uncle Yuan, bring us back to the Great Qin. This shouldn't be against the rules, right? You brat. Actually, you don't have to worry too much. Tantai Li has already brought people to support Elder Qin. Qin Yuan shook his head and smiled. Great-grandmother? Qin Feiyang was stunned. Yes. After Mu Tianjun merged with the divine body, he immediately brought people to the main tower. Tantai Li is also a smart woman. Seeing that the situation was not good, she did not hesitate to bring Yishu and the others to escape to the spiritual state. Qin Yuan said, I see. Qin Feiyang nodded in realization. He smiled and said, with great-grandmother and the others providing support, the people of the 9 prefectures should know. The living beings of the 9 continents have been slaughtered by the mermaid clan. Qin Yuan sighed. Slaughter them all. Qin Feiyang was dumbfounded. The inner demons roared. These damned beasts, we must kill them. Qin Yuan was silent for a while. Looking at the inner demons and Qin Feiyang, he said, after all, the mermaid race has a deep relationship with the late emperor. I hope you can still be merciful. If I don't kill these heartless bastards, I won't be able to vent my anger. The inner demons snorted. Qin Yuan glanced at the inner demons and then at Qin Feiyang. The golden merman also had a supreme-grade divine artifact. Chapter 1869. At first I thought that the Qin emperor might have done something to them back then. That was why they resented him and wanted to rebel. However, that was not the case. Not only did the Qin emperor not hurt them, but he also gave them a spatial divine item with a time array. Anyone with a conscience would be grateful for such a great kindness. However, not only did these bastards not have the slightest bit of gratitude, but they repaid kindness with evil. This is simply unforgivable. The mysterious lady looked at the 5 merfolk ancestors gloomily, her heart filled with unprecedented anger. Hearing these words, Qin Feiyang and the inner demons looked at each other again and nodded at the same time. Qin Feiyang looked down at the 5 merfolk ancestors and said, Great-grandmother's decision is our decision. Haha. The 5 merfolk ancestors immediately laughed. They actually bet the fate of the Great Qin on Tantai Li. It seemed that this Qin Feiyang was just a fool. Looking at the expressions of the 5, the mysterious lady sneered. Do you think that victory is already in your hands? The 5 of them were silent. However, their disdainful expressions were enough to prove their thoughts at the moment. I have to say that you are too naive. The mysterious lady sneered and shouted, Feiyang, give me the divine crystal. Divine crystal? Qin Feiyang was taken aback, a little confused. What did great-grandmother want with the divine crystal now? He naturally knew the power of the divine crystal. At most, it could only be regarded as a high-grade divine artifact. Therefore, even if the divine crystal was revived, it would not be of much help in this battle. You and I both know great-grandmother's methods and character. She definitely won't do anything meaningless. Since she wants it, just give it to her. The inner demon secretly said. Qin Feiyong nodded, took out the divine crystal, and handed it to the mysterious lady. The mysterious lady grabbed the divine crystal, looked at the 5 merfolk ancestors, and sneered, "Prepare to despair." As soon as she finished speaking, the mysterious lady waved her hand, and the 10 stone pagodas floating around her suddenly soared into the sky. Deity, did you notice that the 10 stone pagodas look a little familiar? The inner demon secretly said. They do seem a little familiar, Qin Feiyong mumbled. Dusty memories surfaced in his mind. It's them. Qin Feiyong and the inner demons looked at each other in disbelief. These 10 stone pagodas were exactly the same as the pill pagodas in the 9 great regions, as well as the sacred pagoda in the main pagoda. The pill towers in the 9 regions and the sacred tower in the main tower were the places where the heavenly lightning flame, heavenly astral flame, frigid ice flame, and the other alchemy flames were sealed. So they are all divine artifacts, Qin Feiyong murmured. But other than me, there were 2 other people who knew. They were Mu Changfeng and Mu Changyun. After all, they are Mu Tianyang's sons. But such important information, they definitely wouldn't tell the chief pagoda master. So, the secret of the divine crystal was kept. The mysterious madam looked at the 5 mermaid ancestors and said, "Of course." She was also saying this for Qin Feiyong and the others to hear. "I see. No wonder the Mu family and you all wanted the divine crystal," Qin Feiyong said. "That's right. How could such an important thing fall into the hands of the Mu family? But in the end, fortunately, you got it." The mysterious madam turned to Qin Feiyong and said with a smile. Qin Feiyong said helplessly, "You should have told me this earlier. The divine pagoda is a legendary divine artifact. With your strength at that time you couldn't fuse them. What's the use of telling you? Moreover, at that time I wasn't ready," the mysterious madam said. "That's true. At that time our cultivation base was too weak." Qin Feiyong nodded. "Miss, since the divine pagoda is so powerful, why didn't you ask this kid for the divine crystal earlier? If you asked for the divine crystal when we separated in the glacier forest, we wouldn't have to run to Great Qin now." The monkey-faced old man looked at the mysterious madam helplessly. "The situation was urgent at that time, I didn't think of it at all." The mysterious madam smiled bitterly and said, "But there are gains and losses. If we didn't run to Great Qin, Old Qin would have blown himself up long ago." "That's true." The monkey-faced old man nodded, looking at the 5 mermaid ancestors. At this moment they were standing in the void, feeling the terrifying aura of the divine pagoda. They were all trembling. Now their minds were full of fear. They thought that they would win, but they didn't expect the mysterious madam to have such a terrifying divine artifact. A legendary divine artifact. This was an invincible existence. What should they do? Is the mermaid clan really going to die today? Come on, let me see what kind of ability you heartless things have to covet this continent. The mysterious madam shouted. The 5 mermaid ancestors' eyes trembled. The dozens of false gods behind the 5 of them, as well as the thousands of mermaids, all had pale faces without any light. The 2 mermaid ancestors that appeared in Undersea City were also there. The wings on their backs had also changed from 3 to 4 pairs. Obviously, they had all broken through to the battle sage realm. However, at this moment, looking at Qin Feiyong and the others, they were also full of fear. Plop! Finally, some mermaids couldn't help but kneel down in despair. "Don't kill us. We were wrong, we shouldn't have rebelled. Please, for the sake of the first mermaid emperor and the others, give our mermaid clan a way out. 5 patriarchs, I beg you, please let go of me."